This is UConn men's basketball on the UConn Sports Network. Stations, if you encounter technical issues during the broadcast, please call the UConn studio hotline at 336-464-0227. This is UConn men's basketball on the UConn Sports Network. Stations, if you encounter technical issues during the broadcast, please call the UConn studio hotline at 336-464-0227. This is UConn men's basketball on the UConn Sports Network. Stations, if you encounter technical issues during the broadcast, please call the UConn studio hotline at 336-464-0227. Coming up on 5 minutes until airtime, Mark, 5 minutes until airtime on the UConn Sports Network for our men's basketball broadcast. Your next time cue will be with 4 minutes until airtime. Stations, if you encounter technical issues during the broadcast, please call the UConn studio hotline at 336-464-0227. Coming up on 4 minutes until airtime, Mark, 4 minutes until airtime on the UConn Sports Network for our men's basketball broadcast. Your next time cue will be with 3 minutes until airtime. Stations, if you encounter technical issues during the broadcast, please call the UConn studio hotline at 336-464-0227. Coming up on 3 minutes until airtime, Mark, 2 minutes until airtime on the UConn Sports Network for our men's basketball broadcast. Your next time key will be with 1 minute until airtime. Stations, if you encounter technical issues during the broadcast, please call the UConn studio hotline at 336-464-0227. Coming up on 1 minute until airtime, Mark, network stations, we are 1 minute until airtime on the UConn Sports Network for our men's basketball broadcast. Once again, stations, if you encounter technical issues during the broadcast, please call the UConn studio hotline at 336-464-0227. Studios, when you hear the tone, please start your archive recording. Coming up on 30 seconds until airtime, Mark, 30 seconds until airtime. Studios, please start your archive recording. Stations, your final time key will be with 15 seconds until airtime. Mark, 15 seconds until airtime. Stations, have fun.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the UConn Sports Network.
The Huskies are 6-time national champions, and it's time to celebrate UConn hoops at center court again. Made for March? Yes, indeed.
On the UConn Sports Network, presented by Brown, Painderis, and Scott, UConn Huskies men's basketball is on the air.
McNeely jabs into the paint, goes to the left hand, and he banks it home. Mighty Mac!
Our coverage begins with the Hart Auto Group countdown to tip-off. Today's show is presented by Hart Auto Group. Shop Hart Auto Group. We treat you like family and are only a heartbeat away. HartCars.com. Pre-game coverage is sponsored by Key Bank, the exclusive retail bank of UConn men's basketball. Today's show is also sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss, your long-term solution for weight loss. Brown, Painderis, and Scott. With BPS Lawyers, you get more than a lawyer. You get a law firm. The Connecticut Lottery. Visit ctlottery.org. Dean Cabinetry in Bolton. Beautiful kitchens for any budget. Dime Bank. Community banking lives here. Key Hyundai, Genesis of Milford and Middletown Chevrolet. Home of the 1 million-mile powertrain warranty. Cloder Farms in Ellington. Best sheds at the best prices. American-made custom furniture. We're worth the ride. Monaco Ford in Glastonbury and Niantic. Orthopedic Associates of Hartford. Make your move. Connect with the top orthopedic specialists at oahct.com. Sullivan Automotive Group, where Liam McNeely shops. Drive like a champion with Sullivan Automotive. And by Trantolo & Trantolo, Connecticut's personal injury law firm.
Man sets and fires a three. Bang! He got it! Alex the Great!
Coming up, we'll break down today's opponent, check scores from across the country, and go one-on-one with UConn head coach Dan Hurley. The countdown to tip-off begins as we head to our broadcast location. Here's Mike Crispino.
Welcome to Gamble Pavilion. It's UConn and Creighton. The Blue Jays visit the Huskies. The two teams right next to each other in the Big East standings. UConn 5-1, Creighton 4-2. Blue Jays have dominated the series between the two, winning 7 of the 9 played between the two schools. Mike Crispino, Wayne Norman. Huskies back home in Gamble, familiar confines. But Wayne, nothing coming easy for the two-time defending champion Huskies.
Well, they got it together a week ago today at Georgetown, and they've had a week off to improve their game to get ready for one of the top teams in the league. These were the teams that were picked 1 and 2 in the preseason Big East poll. UConn 1, Creighton 2 and Creighton good, mainly because of their outside-inside combination. Stephen Ashworth, great three-point shooter. Ryan Kalkbrenner, the 7'1" fifth-year senior, leading scorer and rebounder. Can UConn contain one or both of those players today? If they do, the Huskies should win.
All right, UConn and Creighton, much more to come. We'll hear from Greg McDermott, their head coach, Dan Hurley as well, and Joe Arruda of the Hartford Courant next on the Full Court Press. You're listening to UConn men's basketball on Learfield, presented by Brown Paint, Darris and Scott.
UConn fans, when it comes to sports injuries, do you know where the Huskies go?
UConn Health, Connecticut's public academic medical center. Our doctors advance research and train future generations of healthcare experts.
All while offering the latest in injury prevention, treatment, and performance improvement for athletes, for everyone.
When it comes to UConn athletics, our physicians are their physicians and should be your physicians too.
Make their doctors your doctors.
UConn Health. Learn more at health.uconn.edu.
At KeyBank, we know a small moment like,
whoa, my kid's got a serious backhand,
can lead to an even bigger question like,
tennis campus how much?
And that's the type of moment where we'll meet you to help you build a savings plan for expenses big and small so your money can make money. Mike, how's that sound?
Sounds like match point.
Sounds like love.
We could serve up tennis puns all day.
For every financial need, we'll meet you in the moment. KeyBank opens doors. KeyBank member FDIC.
Husky men's basketball returns in 60 seconds. This is the UConn Sports Network from Learfield.
My mom, who just finished her high school diploma. I wanted to say I'm so proud of you for finishing school. You taught me it's never too late to achieve your dreams. I hope to make you as proud as you have made me.
When you graduate, they graduate. Finish your high school diploma for you and for them. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
You said you'd never buy your kid candy from the checkout aisle. Or forget extra diapers. You'd never lick your thumb to clean their face. Never, ever become a minivan mom. So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, no, it can happen. Cars get hot fast, and kids can be at risk in temperatures as low as 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
The countdown to tip-off continues with a check of scores from around the Big East and college basketball. Let's go inside the Learfield Network studios.
Huskies and the Blue Jays coming up at noon from Gamble. Paul Roper with you as we get ready for another Saturday in the Big East. Two other games on the docket today. 7th-ranked Marquette hosts Xavier at 2 o'clock, and the nightcap at 8. St. John's crosses the Hudson River to face Seton Hall. Last night, Eric Dixon scores 23 to lead Villanova to a 75-73 win over Providence. And DePaul finally wins a regular season game in the Big East. The Blue Demons go to D.C. and hand Georgetown to 73-68 decision. DePaul's last conference win had come 2 years ago today against Xavier. Heading over to the top 25, two other games will tip off with ours at the top of the hour. Big matchup in Rupp Arena between number 4 Alabama and 8th-ranked Kentucky, and number 10 Houston heads to Orlando to face UCF. Other notable ranked-on-ranked matchups today, number 1 Auburn will head to Stegman Coliseum to face Georgia at 1 p.m. In the Big Ten, 13th-ranked Oregon hosts number 17 Purdue at 3 o'clock. And it's the Egg Bowl basketball style. Number 21 Ole Miss heads to Starkville to face number 15 Mississippi State at 6 o'clock. UConn and Creighton coming up at the top of the hour. Let's head back to stores where Mike Crispino is today's Full Court Press.
Time for the Full Court Press with Joe Arruda of the Hartford Courant. Joe, UConn split a couple last week on the conference road, and they dropped 5 spots in the national rankings. It seems a little penal, doesn't it?
It does, but I mean, it's the second quad 2 loss and a top-ranked team that has 4 losses on the year. So if you look at it that way, you know, they're kind of still getting a little bit of a boost from what they've done in the past. You know, they're 4-2, I believe, in quad 2 games. You know, losing that game after Maui, but obviously with Liam out, you know, you kind of, for those that were there, you didn't expect that to maybe drop them as much, but when you look at the numbers, it kind of makes sense.
Coach K made some news proposing a Big East ACC merger recently. Is it feasible, or is that a long shot, or maybe a necessity with the Big Ten and the SEC dominating so much in all the postseason thoughts?
That's something I thought about when they first started forming these super conferences. You know, it makes sense for UConn to join and be able to play football in there, and you know, the basketball, it'd be a great basketball league, be probably one of the best basketball leagues that we got. But you saw, you know, Mick Cronin the other night complaining about the travel that UCLA is facing in the Big Ten. So, you know, that travel with those mega conferences, you know, but keeping a conference that's mostly on the East Coast and in this region, in a sense, you know, I think that would be good for UConn. I mean, there's so much else that goes into it, but from my point of view, I feel like that would be something to explore at least.
That would truly be a super conference, that's for sure. UConn's basketball success these last 2 years, national champs. How did that impact football here, do you think?
I think the basketball program has always impacted football, just in that UConn's brand nationally is basketball. So kids grow up, they know what UConn is because of basketball. I remember my first year covering the football team. You ask the guys how they heard of UConn, and they throw out names like Kemba Walker and Ray Allen. So I think that's always been a thing, but especially the last couple of years. But I also think football success has led to it as well. I mean, Jim Moore coming in, he's kind of lit a fire under them, and you know, they won 6 games his first year, and they've, you know, obviously bounced back from a rough year this time.
UConn's BPI, according to ESPN, is around 10. What's the most accurate rating system? A lot of people look at net ratings and all kinds of other things. What do you look at?
I think it's a combination of all of them, but I mostly use KenPom and Torvik, the metric-based, you know, efficiency metrics, based analytics, things like that. I find those to be pretty accurate. You know, right now UConn on KenPom, their offense is like top 2 in the country, and their defense is like in triple digits. So you know, you can kind of get an idea of what they need to improve on and things like that. And yeah, I mostly use KenPom.
What's the Tabrik? What is that? Torvik, exactly.
It's another. They have their own, like, it's called T rating, and if you ask me what goes into all of it, I couldn't rattle it off right now. But yeah, it's pretty much another efficiency metric that's similar to KenPom.
All right, who's winning the battle for playing time on the UConn squad right now without Liam McNeely available? Jaden Ross had a pretty good day at Georgetown. Jalen Stewart had a pretty good day at Villanova. Each one brings something, but it's like every other game.
Yeah, I think it's very matchup based, you know, based on who's going to have the better game. You know, Jalen Stewart is looked at as more of an offensive player. You know, he said after the Villanova game that he felt like himself, and that's what he was known for before he got to college, was being a scorer. And Jaden Ross is supposed to be counted on as, you know, one of the best defenders that UConn has this year, and you know, I think he's still sort of getting there, but his offense, you know, Dan touted him as, you know, he's on a rocket ship, you know, coming into the year, and his offense, you know, he was surprised at how much he had developed over the summer, but I think his offense is something they're still trying to get going.
And Aiden Mahaney, finally, are we seeing the Aiden Mahaney that St. Mary's saw the last couple of years, at least on given nights?
It's funny because it's yes, but in a different role. So I think what we've seen lately is him get comfortable in this role off the bench, off the ball, where he can just be a scorer and just bring a scoring punch like Joey Calcaterra used to do, you know, 2 years ago. So I think a lot of it for him is growing comfortable in what he's being asked to do, and just knowing what he's supposed to be doing when he's on the court.
All right, Joey, appreciate it. Enjoy the game.
Thanks, Mike.
That's Joe Arruda, the Hartford Courant, back with the Scouting Report, Wayne Norman and Greg McDermott of Creighton here on Learfield.
Are you traveling out of Bradley Airport and need a safe, reliable place to park your car? Trust your vehicle to Last Fly Off-Airport Parking, located on Route 75 in Windsor Locks. They have both valet and self-park options to fit any budget. Last Fly is open 24 hours a day and will get you to the airport on time, every time. Join their loyalty program to earn points for free parking, and be sure to ask about their corporate discounts. Save 20% by pre-booking online at lazfly.com. Last Fly is the official parking company and a proud supporter of UConn athletics.
Connecticut Business Systems, a Xerox company, is a proud sponsor of the UConn Huskies. We're Connecticut's largest provider of leading Xerox office technology, workflow automation, managed print services, software solutions, and audio-visual technology. We operate locally to offer you superior service and support, combined with the most advanced technology available in the industry. Our sales professionals make it their business to understand yours. So please contact us today for a free office technology assessment. Visit us at cds-gisx.com or call toll-free at 1-800-842-0009.
The Huskies live here. This is the UConn Sports Network from Learfield.
August was born 3 pounds, 9.8 ounces. When I first saw him, it was a whole range of emotions. There's stuff I still want to do. Being a young dad, it's not giving up. It's shifting. I looked through his eyes. I envisioned a whole future with him already. To throw the first football to him, give him ice cream for the first time. My life is now devoted to his life.
Through all of fatherhood's firsts, never stop being a dad. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
It's time to take a closer look at today's opponent in the Scouting Report. Here's Wayne Norman.
Greg McDermott, 15th year as head coach of Creighton, which comes in 11-6. Had that rocky road with a tough stretch of opponents back in the late part of last year. Now you've won 4 of the last 5. How have you turned things around?
Well, we're getting accustomed to life without Pop Isaacs. We lost, our leading scorer, and it's going to take some time for guys to kind of adjust to the new roles they're playing. I'm not sure we're even close to a finished product, but we're moving that direction, and guys are understanding what's expected of them, and they're doing a little bit better job in the role we've asked them to play.
Pop Isaacs, the 6'2 guard, had dropped 27 on Kansas in a Creighton win out there. So how have you adjusted to play without him? Who's picking up the slack?
Well, Jemiah Neal's, had to handle the basketball more, and we're using Jason Green and Mason Miller. Now Fedor Zukic became eligible right before Christmas, so we're gradually trying to get him into the lineup and get him more comfortable with what we're doing. So it's kind of been by committee to replace him. You don't take that kind of offensive punch out of your lineup and not feel the effects. Tuesday, you beat Providence 84-64, but it was a 4-point game in the second half, and then Isaac Trout goes off hitting 4 straight threes. How important will a guy like that from the perimeter be today, especially to take the pressure off of Ashcroft from the perimeter? Yeah, I mean, Stephen Ashworth's got the ball in his hands a lot for us, and anytime we can get some shooting around him, it just loosens things up for him. It loosens things up inside for Kalkbrenner to have a little bit more room to operate. And we're blessed with a couple guys, and Isaac Trout and Jackson McAndrew, that are 6'10". They shoot it really well. They get it off quick. So it's not like you can be off them very far and impact their shot. So we haven't shot it quite as good on the road as we have at home, and we're going to need that today against a good UConn team.
And let's talk about the big Creighton guys. 7'1", Ryan Kalkbrenner, 19 points, 8 rebounds a game in Big East play. We saw him for the first time when UConn returned to the Big East here in December of 2000. Creighton won in overtime despite James Bouknight dropping 40 on the Blue Jays. But flash back to that game and that season, how Kalkbrenner has improved, what he does better now.
That's the only good memory I have of this building, Wayne. And there was nobody in it. So maybe that's why I liked it so much. That was a COVID year. But, his development has really been incredible. He was a freshman that played 12 minutes a game, had no stamina whatsoever. He couldn't be out there more than 2 minutes. And, last year he plays 55 minutes in a game at Seton Hall in a triple overtime game. So he's developed in every sense of the word. His shooting's gotten better. Obviously, defensively, he does a lot for our team.
And now he's becoming more of a weapon from the perimeter, from three-point range. A 7'1" guy shooting threes, that's got to be big.
Well, it's one of the things the NBA folks wanted to see, and an area of development that he and I both felt that he could grow in. He's picking his spots really well. He's hit some big ones for us the last few games.
Greg, how is it that Creighton is a very good defensive rebounding team, but a very poor offensive rebounding team? Is that something you're working on?
I mean, part of it's by design. Transition defense is really important to us, and not giving up the easy shots in transition. And some of our roster's not built for great offensive rebounding, so it's not an area that's been that big of a focus with our program. I think everybody focuses on different things, and trying to limit their second shots is a big thing that we spend time on.
So a couple of keys today for the Blue Jays to beat the Huskies.
We have to take care of the basketball. Their defense in this building is different, I think, than when they play on the road or even in Hartford. So taking care of the basketball, making sure we're getting shots on goal, and then keeping them in front of us on the defensive end of the floor, and making sure that we're not playing in rotations all the time. So we're going to have one of our best efforts of the year.
Greg, always a pleasure to see you. Thank you.
Thank you, Wayne.
Greg McDermott, the head coach of Creighton. Up next, head coach of the Huskies, Dan Hurley, talks to Mike Crispino from Brown, Penderas, and Scott. This is UConn basketball on Learfield.
Is your retirement game plan a well-executed play or a Hail Mary pass? Hi, I'm Jake Dozer, certified financial planner. At Johnson Brunetti, we've helped over 5,000 families prepare for and live in retirement. And now we're proud to be the official wealth management sponsor of the UConn Huskies. Visit us at johnsonbrunetti.com and get free financial planning books and resources. Johnson Brunetti, Retirement and Investment Specialists.
Johnson Brunetti is a marketing name for the businesses of JB Capital and JN Financial. Investment advisory services offered through JB Capital, LLC. Insurance products offered through JN Financial, LLC.
Planning a move? Let Lippincott Van Lines, the official mover of the UConn Huskies, take the worry and stress out of your relocation. Whether you're moving across the country, across the world, or just across the street, Lippincott Van Lines will handle your packing, moving, and storage needs with the care and quality they deserve. If the UConn Huskies football team can trust Lippincott to get their gear to the field on time, you can trust them to get your items where they need to be. Call Lippincott Van Lines today for a free estimate at 800-245-8563.
From the Berkshires to the Long Island Sound, this is the UConn Sports Network from Learfield.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy. Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Substance use disorder and addiction is so isolating. And so, as a Black woman in recovery, hope must be loud. It grows louder when you ask for help and you're vulnerable. It is the thread that lets you know that no matter what happens, you will be okay.
When we learn the power of hope, recovery is possible. Find out how at startwithhope.com. Brought to you by the National Council for Mental Wellbeing, Shatterproof, and the Ad Council.
It's time to check in with UConn head coach Dan Hurley. Presented by Key Hyundai, Genesis of Milford, and Middletown Chevrolet. Home of the 1 million mile powertrain warranty. With the coach, here's Mike Crispino.
Coach, you're playing Creighton here. They've been to the Sweet 16 3 of the last 4 years, an Elite 8 appearance, top 6 in the Ken Palm last 5 years under Doug McDermott. What's the strength of their this Blue Jays team and the way they do things?
Yeah, I just think schematically, offensively, they run a lot of good stuff, and they've got plenty of shooting and really skilled offensive players. And then you throw a kid like Kalkbrenner in the middle, and what he's able to do uniquely defensively, very similar to what Donovan did, for us, where you're able to have great success. I can't imagine what it would be like to have Donovan for 5 years or Adama for 5 years. But Kalkbrenner's been a huge part of their success. But they're a top 20 program.
Yeah, apologies to Coach McDermott. It's Greg McDermott. His son was Doug. He's the guy that shot the ball. All right, UConn's won 8 of 9 here, Coach, including most of the close ones. What are you learning about this 24-25 version of the Huskies?
Yeah, that we've had a slight improvement with the defense, which you're going to need with, when you lose the scoring that we've lost with Liam, and that we're still finding ways to win games. Obviously, it's not as dominant a fashion, but we've also had some games where, like Georgetown for 33 minutes, we looked like a really, really good team, and then the last 7 minutes, it got away from us, and the score wasn't indicative of our quality through 33 minutes. So we know we're going to have to play a full 40 today.
Does that bother you when the team plays like that, plays really well for 33, but not so well for 7?
Well, I mean, some teams just aren't good enough to play a great 40 minutes. So it's one of those things where, great teams, elite teams, they could put together full 40-minute games. Right now, we're not an elite team. We're not a great team. We're trying to work our way to becoming great or elite. We just got to avoid, there's too many valleys.
Who starts for this team today, and what goes into that decision?
I think there's just a variety of factors. How you like people coming in, where are they most comfortable? Where do you think they have a better chance to be successful? A little bit of it had to do with matchups a couple of games back. Health, there's a lot of things.
Who guards this guy, Stephen Ashworth? He went nuts at Omaha, but you did a great job out of him here at Gamble last time you saw him.
Yeah, Hassan and then other people, because he's there's going to be some switching things that we have to do. So Solo's going to guard him. A lot of people are going to guard him, and he really tests your focus, your concentration, your intelligence, your patience. But you also have to be disruptive with him and them because they have been turning the ball over a lot.
Yeah, Ashworth, the 5th in the league in scoring, 17, 3rd in assists, 6.5. Back to Kalkbrenner for a moment. Where is he more impactful for his team, do you think, offense or defense?
Well, I mean, probably more defense, but it's just, the threes that he creates when he's rolling or posting at the rim is again, it's similar to what Donovan did for us. And then at the defensive end, he allows them to just basically umbrella the three-point line and let him just deal with the rim. And if you don't have a pick and pop center that can drag him out to the three-point line, it's tough.
How much does physicality come into play in the equation when you deal with Kalkbrenner?
Well, last year we were more physical here, and we played with more urgency, and we won, and then it flipped in Omaha, and they won.
Mason Miller, guy come off their bench, 6'9", long-range threat. 108 of his 125 field goal attempts are threes, so I guess it's imperative to guard him out there outside the arc.
Yeah, with all these guys, McAndrews, Trout, Miller, obviously Ashworth. They've got a number of guys that can really hurt you from three, plus Kalkbrenner, so it's going to really stress our defense.
Overall keys to winning this game, getting back on the home floor and doing what you do.
Yeah, I think we got to kind of keep Ashworth and Kalkbrenner to, maybe slightly below average games, and then for us, we're going to have to really work hard offensively to get, to get the deepest paint shots we can get, and really screen well to get good threes.
Good to be home.
It's always great to be home.
All right, thanks, Coach. That's Dan Hurley. It's Creighton and UConn, the starting lineups. The opening tip coming up in a moment on Learfield.
Hi, this is Nick Kaplanson from Dime Bank. To win a championship, it takes more than just good players and coaches. It takes a whole community dedicated to the same goal. The same is true when it comes to banking. A successful banking relationship is built from a community fully dedicated to meeting the banking needs of its customers. If you're ready to experience a better approach to banking, come join our community at Dime. It's your bank, your choice. Your Dime.
Dime Bank. Community banking lives here. Member FDIC.
College sports fans now have access to hundreds of weekly podcasts that zero in on the college sports world. Now available in the Varsity Podcast Network and part of the new Varsity app. The app is free and available from wherever you get your favorite apps. Download the Varsity app today to have access to hundreds of national podcasts as well as your favorite team-focused podcasts. The Varsity Podcast Network now available for free on the Varsity app. Download from the App Store and listen today.
Heard from Danbury to Norwich. This is the UConn Sports Network from Learfield.
Put your phone on D&D, that means do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always sing with me. So put your phone on D&D, that means do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always remember this beat.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
He beat Kalkbrenner to the spot, and UConn leads 4-2. Now Ashworth, front court left, kicks in the near corner to Green, doesn't shoot it. Back outside to Kalkbrenner. Guarded by Samson Johnson, who's harassing him with the ball, and he hands off to Neal. Neal starts to his right, back to his left, switched off to Ball. He gives to Green in the near corner for three. No good by Green. A loose ball, tracked down by Caravan. And Alex to the front court right, fires it right to Diarra. Diarra holds and hands over to Ball. He swings around to the left side, straight on the basket, guarded by Ashworth. Big height advantage there for Solo on a handoff to Diarra, front court right. Diarra fires in the near corner. It's Ball for three. He got it! Solo delivers a triple, and UConn leads 7-2. Here's Ashworth, nearly had it stolen by Diarra. Lost it, hands it over to Kalkbrenner. And Ashworth keeps, drives to the paint, gives to Green. He runs over Stewart. It's an offensive foul. And UConn's defense able to come up with a play. Jalen Stewart got in position and drew the charge.
Well, the Huskies hitting from three from Solo Ball from the right corner. Good assist pass by Hassan Diarra, who got the first point of the game. And for the Blue Jays, Creighton starting off 1 for 5, and 3 of those misses are from three-point range.
And Ball had 3 threes the other night in the last game against Georgetown, 3 of 8. Here's Diarra, front court right between the rings. He's guarded there by Jemiah Neal. Ball tries again, and he delivers on the left wing. Solo for 3, 10-2 UConn, 16:40 to go in the first. This crowd erupting. Now Ashworth, guarded by Diarra, starts right, keeps his dribble, fires in the far corner to McAndrew, gets it back. Ashworth on the right wing, backs away from Diarra, fires down to Neal on the baseline, and Neal able to bank it in for 2 from close range, and that quiets the crowd for the moment. It's 10-4 UConn.
And one reason the 6'5 Neal could do that is because Samson Johnson was on the perimeter guarding Kalkbrenner.
All right, Diarra front court right on the right sideline at the hash. Out front to Ball. Ball on a handoff to Caravan. He weave. It's Diarra on the right side. Attacking Ashworth. Drops it in off the backboard. He beat Kalkbrenner on the shot. He got it off quickly, and Ryan couldn't block it. UConn leads 12-4.
Huskies have hit 4 straight.
Ashworth fires in the near corner to Neal. Sets and fires a 3, and he delivers. Jemiah Neal is 32% out there. 3 gets Creighton back within 5, 12-7. Both teams connecting from outside. Here's Ball, front court right. Out front to Samson Johnson. Kalkbrenner won't even guard him out there. He gives it to Diarra. He starts to his right. Diarra to the paint. Tacks. Kicks back outside to Solo. Solo in the far corner to Caravan. Caravan on a handoff from Samson Johnson. Caravan attacks Kalkbrenner. Oh, he missed the layup. And he rebounded by Ashworth. Ashworth on a run out right to left. Gives to Neal. Neal starts to his right, picked up by Ball. Wants to go down low to Kalkbrenner. Kalkbrenner with a power move. Goes to his left hand. Nowhere to go. He's blocked by Caravan. And they tie it up. Caravan with great help, D. And it'll be possession, the Blue Jays, when we come back from the timeout under 16. 5 minutes in, UConn led it 12-7.
And you talk about defense on the paint. That time, Kalkbrenner got his first touch on the paint in a half-court set in 5 minutes.
UConn basketball sponsored by UConn Health, the official healthcare provider of UConn Athletics. Make their doctors your doctors. You're listening to UConn men's basketball on Learfield, presented by Brown Paint, Darris and Scott.
When severe weather rolls in, every second counts. That's why you trust the largest team of local weather experts and First Alert Live Radar.
Heavy rain moving toward the Hartford area.
Connecticut's only live radar tracks storms border to border and right down to your street, giving you the first alert anytime, anywhere.
We're expecting thunderstorms to develop.
First Alert Live Radar from Channel 3. Because when seconds count, having a first alert is everything.
Power Station Events is the official production partner of the UConn Huskies, the ultimate one-stop source featuring audio, video, lighting, staging, talented DJs and musicians, photography and videography, stunning decor and florals, and much more. As we celebrate our 40th anniversary, we want to thank UConn Nation as we look forward to the next 40 years. Visit us at powerstationevents.com and let us help you plan your next awesome event.
Aw, shucks, the game's on TV, but I can't listen to the call of my favorite team broadcasters.
Never fear, Sync My Game is here.
Sync My Game?
Yes, Sync My Game. If you have a DVR and streaming device, head to syncmygame.com from Learfield. It's never been easier to hear the impassioned voices of your favorite radio crew synced with the TV.
Wow, thank you, Mr.
Just remember, syncmygame.com.
Play-by-play coverage of UConn men's basketball is presented all season long by KeyBank, the exclusive retail bank of UConn men's basketball.
UConn basketball brought to you by Connecticut Lottery. Play the limited edition UConn Championship scratch ticket today. Overall odds 1 in 3.54. Must be 18 or older. Problem gambling helpline. You can call 888-789-7777. Today's game sponsor is Visit Central Florida. Right now in our area, temperatures in the 20s. That doesn't sound like a bad idea, Wayne.
I got a basketball game to do, then we'll talk about it. Maybe get out of here before it gets down to 0 midweek next week. Great start for the Huskies. Remember, they had a problem for a couple of games getting off to slow starts, which cost them some games. Then they got off to a very good start in the Georgetown game, had a 23-point lead early in the second half of that game a week ago today. And this game, they've been shooting the ball well, 5 of 9, 2 for 4 from three-point range, and holding Creighton to 3 for 8. 7-1 Ryan Kalkbrenner got his first field goal of the game a minute in with an offensive rebound putback. That last sequence was the first time he's had a touch inside the paint in the half court, and it was Alex Caravan who got credit for the block. One significant stat to keep an eye on is rebounding today. Right now, Creighton with 5, UConn with 4. But the reason is that Kalkbrenner can take Samson Johnson out of the paint, so that will hurt UConn as far as defensive rebounding is concerned.
It's a good idea to take him out of the paint, but you got to make a shot out there, and Kalkbrenner hadn't even attempted one. We'll see how UConn handles it. They pump it down low to Kalkbrenner on the baseline left, trying to overpower Samson. Johnson digs a left shoulder in, and a foul is called on Samson. I don't know what that was, but it was a foul on Samson Johnson. Pre-Greg McDermott, Creighton against top 25 teams was 20 and 117. With McDermott coaching, they're 39 and 56. So you can see how important he is as a head coach at Creighton University.
Obviously, you saw that touch situation, so they got 2 plays in a row that went to him in the paint.
All right, now it's Neal. Starts right on a drive-by ball. Goes all the way to the basket and stuffs it home. A straight line drive, and it's 12-9. UConn leads Creighton. 14.5 to go in the first. Here's solo ball. Gives to Jalen Stewart on the left sideline now. It is Caravan off the bounce. Caravan holds. Gets it to Diarra along the left baseline. Up the high screen into the paint. Diarra gives to Caravan. They work the right side back to Diarra. He drives to his right. Gets double team for the moment. Gives to Terrace Reed, who just came in the ball game. And Terrace Reed's shot off the rim and rebounded by Creighton's McAndrew. And the Blue Jays have it front court left. They go down low to Kalkbrenner, working on Reed. Digs a left shoulder in, spins to his right, nowhere to go. Jump hook, no good. Rebound by Diarra. Hassan runs to the front court. Goes alley-oop to Jalen Stewart. And he rocks the rim. Our dime of the game brought to you by Dime Bank. Community Banking lives here. 14-9, UConn leads. Diarra guards Ashworth, front court left. He starts to his left, keeps his dribble, thought about shooting the three. Instead, he gives to Neal. Neal out front, top of the key, tries to blow by ball. Step back jumper by Neal, and that one's good. What a start for Jemiah Neal, the senior guard. He averages 11 a game, and he's got 10 already in the opening 6 minutes. Jaden Ross and Aiden Mahaney get set to check in as UConn leads 14-12. Here's ball up front to Reed and a handoff to Diarra. He spins to his right, guarded by Ashworth. Takes a handoff again from Reed, starts back to his left, gives to Caravan, and Caravan's jumper is whistled off by James Breeding. A moving screen by Terrace Reed Jr. He said he swung his hip out, and that stops play right there. UConn's second personal foul.
Both on bigs. You want to save your big fouls for defending Kalkbrenner in the paint. Neal had been 1 of 8 from three-point range the last 2 games, but he's off with a hot start, 2 for 2 outside the arc today.
Now here's Ashworth, hands it off to Neal out front. He's guarded by Jaden Ross, just came in the ball game. Funny moment a moment ago with Dan Hurley and McDermott as Dan told him to get back in the coaching box. They both smiled. They go alley-oop. It's intercepted, and Creighton comes up with it on a steal. It's in the hands of Mason Miller. Long three by Ashworth is good, and Creighton's got a lead of 15-14. They trailed 10-2 early. Mahaney front court right. It's to Diarra, and a foul away from the ball. Foul is called on Creighton, I believe. Wait a minute, Kalkbrenner has some blood on his left arm. He's got to be attended to by the training staff, and UConn will get over with Dan Hurley. And so Creighton bounced back very well, trailing 10-2 in the opening 4 minutes. And in the next 3 minutes, they've been able to bounce back and lead 15-14.
Huskies defended that entry pass to Kalkbrenner very well, batted it away, but then the ball bounced around, and UConn was not in the right defensive position after the scramble. That left Ashworth open from the left elbow.
Creighton 6-0 run in the last minute. UConn's made 5 of their last 7 field goals. This is Terrace Reed out front. He gives to Diarra on the left wing. Out front to Mahaney. Mahaney back to Diarra. High arcing jumper off the back rim, no good, and it's rebounded by Isaac Trout. And here come the Blue Jays. Ashworth starts to his left. Picked up by Reed on a switch. Now Caravan has him. They kick it over to Neal. Diarra almost stole it. It's picked up by Jemiah Neal back in the backcourt, and he dribbles to the front court left. Neal starts to his right, tries to blow by Diarra. A step-back jumper by Neal is good. 12 points in the opening 8 minutes for a man that averages 11. And Creighton leads by 3, 17-14.
8-0 run.
Jemiah Neal, Toledo, Ohio native, transferred from Arizona State and Bobby Hurley's program. Here's Reed, front court right. On a handoff to Mahaney. Little pull-up by Aiden is good in the lane from 8 feet away. 17-16. Creighton with 11 minutes to go in the first. Ashworth, guarded by Diarra, fires it right and out of bounds. It ended up in the UConn bench for a turnover, and we have a timeout. Second one by the Blue Jays. And play is stopped with 11:09 to go in the first half. UConn trailing 17-16. UConn basketball presented in part by JT Gamo, the suit store, your destination for sharp, custom-tailored suits that make a statement. Dress your best with JT Gamo. You're listening to UConn Men's Hoop on Learfield, presented by Brown, Penderas, and Scott.
UConn fans, when it comes to sports injuries, do you know where the Huskies go?
UConn Health, Connecticut's public academic medical center. Our doctors advance research and train future generations of healthcare experts.
All while offering the latest in injury prevention, treatment, and performance improvement for athletes, for everyone.
When it comes to UConn athletics, our physicians are their physicians and should be your physicians too.
Make their doctors your doctors.
UConn Health. Learn more at health.uconn.edu.
Heard from Bridgeport to Willimantic. This is the UConn Sports Network from Learfield.
Feed a hamster? I think so. Is my homework right? I think so. Is this milk still good? I think so.
When it comes to parenting, sometimes it's okay to think you know, but when it's something as important as your child's car seat, don't just think. No. Double check if your child is in the right seat for their age and size. It'll help protect them in a car crash. Don't just think. No, by visiting nhtsa.gov/the right seat. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
For comprehensive coverage of college basketball, tune to SiriusXM College Sports Radio. Channel 84 in the car or the new SiriusXM app. SiriusXM, home of your favorite team and conference, including live games, interviews, analysis. Cheer along with the SiriusXM app. Listen to your favorite team anywhere. Get a free trial. SiriusXM.com/College Sports Radio 2025.
So the story of this first half has been Jemiah Neal, 6'5", 190, senior guard forward, as Mike said, 3 years at Arizona State out of Toledo. He averages 11 points a game, and he's got 12 already. He had 10 points during that 13-2 Creighton run. Husky jumped out to a 10-2 lead, led 12-4, and all of a sudden he started going off. Only field goal in that was a beautiful entry pass on a lob from Hassan Diarra to Jalen Stewart in the fast break. That could not have been any better thrown. If it's lower, it gets batted away. If it's higher, Jay Stu can't get it. Then Mahaney was able to come off the bench and add a field goal. So the Huskies right now down 17-16, shooting 7 of 13, as is Creighton so far.
This Creighton team is facing their 5th top 25 team of the season in this one. They lost to Texas A&M earlier in the year, then defeated Kansas at home when the Jayhawks were a number 1 team, 76-63. They lost at Marquette by 8 later, and then here they are to take on number 14, UConn in this one. UConn goes with Jaden Ross, Aiden Mahaney, Terrace Reed Jr., Hassan Diarra, Alex Caravan.
Huskies are 2-1 against teams currently ranked. They lost, of course, to Memphis.
Here is Diarra out front court right, top of the key. Back to Reed at the high post. Kalkbrenner isn't guarding anybody. Right now here's Caravan with a floater, missed the shot. Reed on the offensive glass, got it. He kicks it back out to Diarra. Diarra on the left wing, and his pass is denied and knocked out of bounds by Jemiah Neal. It'll be UConn basketball, 15 to shoot.
Boy, Neal's doing it both ends of the court. Good defensive
Yes,
play
he
that
is.
time. I would have been a low pass to Reed.
6'5", 190, as you mentioned, 3 years at Arizona State. Here is Mahaney working on Ashworth into the paint. Mahaney double team, fires to Diarra on the left wing. Diarra works on Ashworth all the way to the basket. Little floater by Hassan goes in from about 5 feet away. Tough shot. And UConn regains the lead 18-17. Here's Ashworth, front court left, looking for a high screen, not getting it. Now he does, he starts right, skips it in the far corner, Trout for 3, and he knocks it down. Isaac Trout, who's 19 of 51 from three-point range coming in, gives Creighton the lead back 20-18. And Trout is a sophomore forward, transferred from Virginia. Here's Ross out front to Mahaney. Mahaney starts left and a handoff to Diarra. They weave. Diarra top of the key, guarded by Neal. Gives to Caravan. Caravan into the paint. Backdoor cut to Diarra. He saves. He gives to Reed. Reed on the baseline left, working on Kalkbrenner. Spins, goes to the left hand. No good. Rebounded by Kalkbrenner. Good D by the 7-footer that time.
Altered the shot.
And here is Ashworth. Gives to Kalkbrenner on the right wing. High post. He backs away. Fires to Neal on the left wing. Neal starts to his left. Picked up by Reed for the moment. They go alley-oop. Kalkbrenner catches in the paint. Nowhere to go. And a foul is called underneath. And stops play. He was double-teamed, Kalkbrenner, and he had nowhere to go.
That's UConn's game plan. They've done it each time that Kalkbrenner has touched the ball in the paint. That time a high-low pass, and suddenly Mahaney came over to be the second man. He picks up his first foul.
All right, Ross and Diarra come out. Ahmad Noel comes in.
Diarra leads UConn in scoring along with Ball, 6 points apiece.
And here is Trout in the corner for 3. Banked it off the glass, no good. I don't think it was intentional. Caravan with a board. Front court right is Alex. Alex into the paint. Backs away on the right wing, and he gives to Ball. Ball along the baseline, and a bounce to Reed. And Reed's little floater is off the back rim. Kalkbrenner definitely affecting shots at his size. And UConn now 8 of 17. Here's Jemiah Neal. Gives on the right wing at the high post to Kalkbrenner. Hands off to Ashworth. He's got Noel on him. Ashworth starts to his right, picks up his dribble. They go down low to Kalkbrenner. He had a dunk attempt. Back to Trout for 3. In and out. Rebound Reed. Reed gives to Noel. Ahmad to the front court right. Ahmad deals to Ball, gets it back, drives to the right side. Ahmad keeps in the far corner and deals it outside to Caravan. Caravan out front to Mahaney. Screened by Reed up high. Mahaney into the paint, goes to a high floater and banked it in. What a tough shot. Oh, Aiden delivers an ace right there, 20 apiece. What a shot over Kalkbrenner. There's Ashworth, front court left, 8:15 to go. First half, fires left to Neal. Neal guarded by Ball. Jabs with his right foot out front to Kalkbrenner. Kalkbrenner with Reed on him. Kalkbrenner puts it on the floor, starts to his left, hands to Ashworth. All kinds of traffic between the rings. Ashworth with a jab. He attacks Reed, almost lost it. Gets it to Kalkbrenner. He's able to put a little runner in from 10 feet away to give Creighton the lead back 22-20.
They got the shot off. Kalkbrenner did before UConn got the double team there. A quick shot.
All right, Noel to the front court. Right, so high screen by Ball. Noel, right wing, starts back to his left, a screen by Caravan. Gives up to Mahaney. Mahaney backs away. A high screen from Reed. Mahaney drives baseline. Try to lay it up. Missed it. Rebound Kalkbrenner. On an outlet, Neal. Neal makes the catch along the baseline to our left and kicks it back out front to Kalkbrenner. He won't shoot it here. Goes down low to Neal, who drives inside, and he's blocked. He tried to stuff it home. Caravan got him. And a foul is called on Ashworth. Wow, what a block. And Dan Hurley wants to talk to his team. He's not happy. And he's having words with Terrace Reed right now as they go to the timeout under 8 minutes with Creighton leading 22-20. UConn basketball presented in part by Orthopedic Associates of Hartford. Get back on the field or just back into life with confidence. Make your move at oahct.com. You listen to UConn Hoop on Learfield, presented by Brown, Painteris, and Scott. The Blue Jays lead by 2.
Is your retirement game plan a well-executed play or a Hail Mary pass? Hi, I'm Jake Dozer, Certified Financial Planner. At Johnson Brunetti, we've helped over 5,000 families prepare for and live in retirement. And now we're proud to be the official wealth management sponsor of the UConn Huskies. Visit us at johnsonbrunetti.com and get free financial planning books and resources. Johnson Brunetti, Retirement and Investment Specialists.
Johnson Brunetti is a marketing name for the businesses of JB Capital and JN Financial. Investment advisory services offered through JB Capital, LLC. Insurance products offered through JN Financial, LLC.
Hey Husky fans, basketball season is here and SeatGeek is here to help you experience all the action. SeatGeek makes it easy to find tickets so you can be a part of all the courtside celebrations this season. Whether you're buying or selling tickets to UConn basketball games or to any other live event in your area, SeatGeek is the place to do it. SeatGeek is the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the UConn Huskies. The most disruptive idea in ticketing? A ticket that works. Expect the expected. SeatGeek.
College sports fans now have access to hundreds of weekly podcasts that zero in on the college sports world. Now available in the Varsity Podcast Network and part of the new Varsity app. The app is free and available from wherever you get your favorite apps. Download the Varsity app today to have access to hundreds of national podcasts as well as your favorite team-focused podcasts. The Varsity Podcast Network now available for free on the Varsity app. Download from the App Store and listen today.
The Huskies live here. You're listening to play-by-play coverage of UConn men's basketball, presented by KeyBank.
UConn women return to Campbell for the first time in over a month. They'll host vastly improved Seton Hall Pirates in Big East play. Bob Joyce, Deb Fisk have all the action, starting with the Hart Auto Group countdown to tip at 1 o'clock. Here along the UConn Sports Network, the Varsity Network app, and varsitynetwork.com. That's tomorrow. As UConn having all kinds of trouble with Creighton. They trailed 22-20. The fifth meeting of a top 25 opponent for Creighton. They did have the win over Kansas. I mentioned they lost to Alabama. That was the missing team as I was looking on their schedule again. But they have played well here to start the ballgame. And that's what you want if you're the road team. Stay within hailing distance right from the start.
And in that Kansas game, the Texas Tech transfer 6'2" junior Pop Isaacs dropped 27 in their home court win over the Jayhawks and hurt his hip in that game late, and he eventually had hip surgery on December the 11th. He's a big loss for them. Anybody that can drop 27 on Kansas. And then again, Tristan Newton hit 30 or so for them out there last year. But anyway, he's a guy that had to replace the scoring. Creighton is 9 for 18. UConn's 9 for 19. Difference in the game, though, is Creighton's 4 for 9 from 3, and UConn is 2 for 5, rebounding even. Actually, with Creighton 10-9, the advantage.
Well, the Huskies go back to Samson Johnson and Jalen Stewart. Ahmad Noel and Mahaney in the backcourt with Solo Ball.
Johnson played the first 5 minutes before picking up his first foul, and as always happens when he gets a foul, they bring Terrace Reed in. Terrace had a season low in minutes played, 12 in the game against Georgetown, because Johnson, a season high, 27 minutes. He played well.
All right, Noel back in the game, gives to Samson Johnson. High post right, gives to Mahaney. Mahaney drives, puts up a floater, no good, and the loose ball comes off to Ashworth. Short shot by Mahaney, and Kalkbrenner had something to do with that one, missing. Caravan and Diarra set to check back in. Here's Ashworth on the left wing. Skips it right for a long three, and it's good. And Creighton has their biggest lead of the ball game. Jackson McAndrew delivers a three. They average almost 10 a game in the season. And a timeout called by Dan Hurley. As Creighton now leads 25-20, and Dan Hurley wants a 30-second timeout. They've made 5 threes here on 10 attempts to start this game, and that's one way to put some points on the board, that's for sure. 15 of their 25 points have come from outside the arc.
You go back to 2024, January, February, March, April. The UConn men's basketball team, which won the national championship, lost one game, and that was a blowout at Creighton. They had a court storming and all that. They were 14 of 28 from 3. Ashworth had 5 of those. 3-point defense, the difference in that game. And early on, that's what's making the difference here. McAndrew making his first, but he takes a lot and makes a lot, 40% in Big East play. His dad played for Greg McDermott when Greg McDermott was at North Dakota, a Division II program.
This Creighton team, I mentioned, average about 10 threes made a game. That's third in the Big East. The categories they've had trouble is on the defensive boards. They're 11th, and their turnover margin, they're 11th in the league. UConn's only forced 2 turnovers so far in the ballgame. Here's Diarra front court right, gives to Caravan. On the right wing, the kick back outside of Jalen Stewart. Off the high screen, Stewart faces Kalkbrenner on a runner from 10 feet away. Jay Stu able to connect. UConn back within 3, 25-22. And Stewart has 4 points. Jemiah Neal will handle the ball in the backcourt, guarded by Solo Ball. And he gives to Kalkbrenner on a pick and roll. Kalkbrenner high post right, working on Samson Johnson. Ducks a shoulder in right. He misses a shot. It's an air ball. And it's rebounded by Diarra. Short one didn't get to the rim. Diarra front court right, fires to Ball. Ball on the left wing drive, all the way to the basket. Jumps it down low to Stewart, who reverses it up and in! Oh, what a shot by Jay Stu! He's got 6, UConn within 1. Ashworth back the other way. Front court left, starts to his left, back to his right. He fires to Kalkbrenner, one looking, and a turnover. Number 3 by Creighton, and that is not on Ashworth, I don't think. Kalkbrenner was not looking for the pass.
That layup by Stewart, he had to reverse it to avoid Kalkbrenner, and it worked.
All right, 5.5 to go in the first half. UConn down by 1. Here's Samson Johnson on the left wing, foul line extended, a handoff to Ball, curls inside. Ball with a floater, good! And from about 10 feet away by Solo. He's got 6 or 8. UConn has a lead back. 26-25. Crowd on their feet. Here's Ashworth looking to get rid of it. Having trouble. Where is he? He gets it up to Kalkbrenner. It's deflected in the backcourt. Diarra dives. It's knocked out of bounds, and it'll be Creighton ball. Oh, man, that was a foot race for a loose ball in the front court of UConn, and Diarra and Kalkbrenner went down for it, and Hassan touched it last.
Hassan had the speed on the 7-1 Kalkbrenner. He used that, but he dove for it. When he did is when he knocked it out of bounds. You couldn't control it.
So Creighton ball, 5 minutes to go. Mike Crispino, Wayne Norman, John Ashmead here at Gamble Pavilion. Jemiah Neal to the front court on the left side with a strong dribble. He fires a 3 over Ball, and he makes it. Wow, he is on fire. Jemiah Neal, the senior guard, now has 15 of his team's 28, and the Blue Jays lead by 2. That is their 6th made 3. Front court right, it's Diarra, guarded by Ashworth. Fires it left to Caravan into the paint. He gives back to Diarra. Stopped there by Kalkbrenner, doesn't shoot the ball. Now he backs away on the right wing off the high screen of Samson Johnson and dribbles it off of Johnson's leg. He gets it back, hands to Stewart, and the ball knocked out of bounds by Creighton. But 2 seconds to shoot for the Huskies here as they trail by 2, 28-26 with 4:13 to go in the first.
4 of the last 5 UConn field goals are by guards, sometimes getting in the paint, but they've taken away the bigs from the offense now because of Kalkbrenner.
Kalkbrenner deflects it loose, and Diarra puts up a shot, but the shot clock had expired, and it will be Creighton basketball.
Just the second UConn turnover against a Creighton team that does not force many turnovers, 5th fewest turnovers forced in the nation, 8.6 per game.
All right, Ashworth will walk it across the timeline, 4 minutes to go in the first half. Diarra picks him up, gives to Kalkbrenner out front. Kalkbrenner guarded by Samson Johnson, puts it on the floor, looks for help, gets it back on the right wing to Ashworth. Ashworth holds and skips in the far corner. Miller couldn't get a shot off. Back to Ashworth. He will try a 3. No good. And it's batted around, and Ashworth got it back. In the corner, McAndrew for 3. No good. And knocked out of bounds off of Creighton. So the under 4 minute with 3:41 to go. And Dan Hurley, a few words as he comes on the court with UConn trailing here by 2, 28-26, 3:40 to go in the first. If you're trying to lose weight, nothing works for the long term. Turn to the solution for weight loss. Awaken180weightloss.com. You're listening to UConn Men's Hoop on Learfield, 28-26 Creighton, 3:41 to go in the first. It's presented by Brown, Penderas, and Scott.
Hi, this is Nick Kaplanson from Dime Bank. To win a championship, it takes more than just good players and coaches. It takes a whole community dedicated to the same goal. The same is true when it comes to banking. A successful banking relationship is built from a community fully dedicated to meeting the banking needs of its customers. If you're ready to experience a better approach to banking, come join our community at Dime. It's your bank, your choice, your Dime.
Dime Bank. Community banking lives here. Member FDIC.
Connecticut is Husky Nation. This is the UConn Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, so what's a great way to spread awareness that driving high is illegal everywhere? A catchy song, of course.
You can run, but you can't drive high. You can run, but you can't drive high.
Friendly reminder, don't drive high. If you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
when the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
The scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
I'll face a hurricane without meds. Now that's a tough pill to swallow.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Aiden Mahaney drives a Monaco Ford. You can too. Visit MonacoFord.com or visit Monaco Ford in Glastonbury and Niantic for current offers. Monaco serving the Connecticut River Valley for 102 years. And Mahaney has 4 points in the ballgame, but averaging 6 a game for the Huskies, playing about 16 minutes after transferring from St. Mary's.
And he didn't waste any time. Coach wanted him to be more aggressive. He talked about that yesterday. He's played 6 minutes, and he's already taken 5 shots. That equals Jalen Stewart for the most on the team so far. Alex Caravan 0 for 2, missed a three-pointer. They need him to get more involved in the offense with Diarra, the top rebounder. He talked about that. Hurley talked about that last week, that he wants the guards to rebound better. Well, Diarra had a good rebounding game in the contest at Georgetown, and here he's got 3 to lead the Huskies today.
UConn shooting 52%, but trailing in the game by 2. 48% shooting by Creighton. Here's ball, front court right to Diarra on the left sideline in front of Greg McDermott. And Diarra backs away from Ashworth's defense, gives it in the high post to Samson Johnson. A couple dribbles. Johnson with the ball over his head, trying to go to ball. It's knocked loose. And here comes Creighton with Ashworth in the front court left. Fires it right to Neal. Doesn't shoot it. Deep in the corner, McAndrew does. No good. Loose ball, and Diarra comes up with it. Into the front court. Hassan into the paint. Runs into Kalkbrenner. Nowhere to go. Kicks it back outside Caravan with 3 minutes to go in the first half. In a 2-point game, the Blue Jays 28-26. Caravan on the right wing, out front the ball. High post handoff to Samson Johnson. Sampson back to ball. Now they're under 10 seconds to shoot. Got to hurry. Here's Caravan. High screen from Samson Johnson into the paint. Caravan attacking Kalkbrenner, and the ball blocked out of bounds and a shot clock violation. Got to be careful when you go too deep on Kalkbrenner. He swallows up a lot of space, and he was able to make the block.
Early in the game, Caravan blocked Kalkbrenner. Turnaround is fair play. And that's the fourth UConn turnover, 2 on 30-second shot clock violations. We don't see that often.
No, you don't. And here is Jemiah Neal with it, right wing, front court left. Picks up his dribble, gives it back to Ashworth. Ashworth had the ball deflected loose by Diarra back in the backcourt. Ashworth behind a couple of screens, can't get a shot off. He hands to Kalkbrenner. Kalkbrenner now will try a three, and it's no good off the left wing. Rebounded by Miller, dumps it down low to McAndrew. McAndrew blocked by Caravan and stripped by Ball, and a foul as Kalkbrenner got the offensive rebound. Oh, now he'll go to the line to shoot 2 with 2:04 to go in the first half.
Well, McAndrew made a 3 earlier, but he's missed his next 4 after that. And they were so good from three-point range, their last 5 shots have been three-pointers. The last 4 have missed.
This Kalkbrenner's free throws up and good. This Creighton team is number 2 in the Big East in field goal defense, allowing teams just 40.5% shooting, and they're also second in three-point field goal defense at 31%.
Solo Ball got the foul. That's his first.
Kalkbrenner makes them both. Creighton by 4, 30-26. UConn playing their 4th game without Liam McNeely, and he'll be out yet another week at least. Here's Ball, front court right. On a handoff to Diarra. Out front, Caravan. Caravan holds, gives the ball. Ball into the paint. A moving screen again by a big Samson Johnson. Dan Hurley is not happy about that. I agree with him.
That's his second foul. 3 fouls on the bigs, and 2 of them offensive fouls. You can't afford that when you're defending Kalkbrenner at the other end.
All right, Ashworth with it. Walks across the timeline, right to left, right sideline, guarded by Diarra. A little bounce pass to Kalkbrenner out front. Kalkbrenner being hounded by Terrace Reid, and they call a foul on Terrace. That's the 6th-team foul on UConn, so no shots.
I don't know if it played a role or not, but after that foul at the other end on Johnson, Dan Hurley was talking to James Breeding the entire way up. He was right in Breeding's ear during that play, and then Breeding called the foul on Reid.
Oh, you mean he distracted him? Is that what you're trying to say? Maybe. All right, here's Ashworth on the right wing. Back out front between the rings. Guarded by Diarra. They're under 10 to shoot. Starts to his left and slips. Regains. Fires outside to Kalkbrenner. Going to work on Reid. He goes to the basket. He missed the layup left-handed. Missed everything. Here comes UConn on a run out. Kalkbrenner not in the zone. And Diarra lays it in. He took advantage. And Greg McDermott wants a timeout. And they are going at it on the sideline. As Dan Hurley thought there was a flop down there by Creighton.
And McDermott thought there was contact on that air ball shot up by Kalkbrenner. Terrace Reid Jr. defended him well.
Timeout on the floor with 1:12 to go. It's a 30-second timeout. UConn trailing by 2, 30-28. Matt Potter doing a little coach control over there with Dan Hurley as he gets him back into the huddle. Now that's good refereeing right there. Don't let a coach get out in the middle of the court and raise too much of a ruckus.
So Alex Caravan 0 for 3. Who's making up the slack in the starting lineup? How about Hassan Diarra? 8 points to lead the Huskies, tied with Solo Ball. And Diarra 4 for 5, had a nice finish off on that transition hoop at the other end after the air ball by Kalkbrenner. And of course what McDermott was trying to say is that there was a foul on Reid. If so, it would have been the 3rd foul on Reid with already 2 on Johnson. And if I'm him now in the final minute 12, every offensive possession, including the one they're going to get out of this timeout, going to go to Kalkbrenner, try to get him in the paint, and try to get foul number 3 on Reid.
the difference between Greg McDermott right now and Dan Hurley is McDermott is pleading his case, but with a big smile. Dan Hurley is really upset. And now the two of them are having words, but they're laughing about it. Well, that's a good sign. All right, Ashworth front court left. He gives it up to Miller. Miller fires it right to Jemiah Neal. Foul line extended right. And Neal with a jab step move on Stewart to the basket, and he hits a floater on the right baseline by Jemiah Neal. The game's high scorer now has 17. He is 7 of 8. 32-28, Creighton leads. Here's Diarra front court right. Neal is overplaying ball, won't let him get the ball. Diarra top of the arc. Guarded by Ashworth, looks to his left, gives to Ball in the paint, and solo off the front rim, no good. Rebounded by Kalkbrenner, a little 15-footer. And Ashworth with the shot clock turned off. The Blue Jays are going to take as much time as they can, maybe all of it, before they take a shot here to end the half. It's Ashworth at the Husky logo center court, guarded by Diarra. He's isolated with him. To his left with a dribble, foul line extended, back out front to Neal. Neal puts it on the floor, tries to go by Ball, a three, in and out, and a foul is called as Trout took it, and Stewart is called for the foul. Love to see a replay of that one because Trout was bailed out on the three-point attempt.
Number 41, Isaac Trout.
Isaac Trout will go to the line. He's only taken 4 free throws all year, made all 4 of them. So Creighton leads 33-28 after the first make.
Yeah, he got him on the right arm.
And he makes the second one. So Isaac Trout now with 2 of them. From Grand Island, Nebraska, a transfer from Virginia.
They were up on Providence by 4 in the second half on Tuesday, and he hit 4 straight three-pointers and put that game away. They won by 20.
And he makes all 3 of them, so that's a big play. The lead will be 7 at halftime unless UConn can get something here with 3 seconds left. Diarra looking to get it in, gets it in, and now Hassan runs to the front court and he's fouled. And he banked it in! Off from 50 feet away. But James Breeding called the foul before he shot it. Hassan, that was in Madison Square Garden. That would have been a 3-point field goal.
That was an intentional foul. They wanted to foul him before he got a 3-point shot off. And it worked.
Hassan tries another one and misses this one. So at halftime, UConn, as they were at Providence, against Providence, he trails by 7. And they'll have to figure it out and turn things around here against Creighton. And stay with us. The KeyBank halftime report, Paul Roper, coming up next as Creighton leads UConn 35-28. It's presented by Brown, Panderas, and Scott. This is UConn basketball from Learfield.
Connecticut Business Systems, a Xerox company, is a proud sponsor of the UConn Huskies. We're Connecticut's largest provider of leading Xerox office technology, workflow automation, managed print services, software solutions, and audio-visual technology. We operate locally to offer you superior service and support, combined with the most advanced technology available in the industry. Our sales professionals make it their business to understand yours. So please contact us today for a free office technology assessment. Visit us at cds-gisx.com or call toll-free at 1-800-842-0009.
Is your retirement game plan a well-executed play or a Hail Mary pass? Hi, I'm Jake Dozer, certified financial planner. At Johnson Brunetti, we've helped over 5,000 families prepare for and live in retirement. And now we're proud to be the official wealth management sponsor of the UConn Huskies. Visit us at johnsonbrunetti.com and get free financial planning books and resources. Johnson Brunetti, Retirement and Investment Specialists.
Johnson Brunetti is a marketing name for the businesses of JB Capital and JN Financial. Investment advisory services offered through JB Capital, LLC. Insurance products offered through JN Financial, LLC.
When severe weather rolls in, every second counts. That's why you trust the largest team of local weather experts and First Alert Live Radar.
Heavy rain moving toward the Hartford area.
Connecticut's only live radar tracks storms border to border and right down to your street, giving you the first alert anytime, anywhere.
We're expecting thunderstorms to develop.
First Alert Live Radar from Channel 3. Because when seconds count, having a first alert is everything.
Are you traveling out of Bradley Airport and need a safe, reliable place to park your car? Trust your vehicle to Last Fly Off-Airport Parking, located on Route 75 in Windsor Locks. They have both valet and self-park options to fit any budget. Last Fly is open 24 hours a day and will get you to the airport on time every time. Join their loyalty program to earn points for free parking, and be sure to ask about their corporate discounts. Save 20% by pre-booking online at lazfly.com. Last Fly is the official parking company and a proud supporter of UConn Athletics.
20 minutes are in the books. This is the KeyBank Halftime Report. KeyBank is the exclusive retail bank of UConn men's basketball. Coming up, we'll recap the first half and check scores from across the country. Now, let's go to the Learfield Network studios.
The Jays close out the half on a 10-2 run and have a 7-point lead over UConn at the half inside Gamble Pavilion, 35-28 for Creighton over UConn. As we take a look at the Big East scoreboard for today, Paul Roper with you in the Learfield Network studios. Just two other games on the docket as 7th-ranked Marquette hosts Xavier at 2 o'clock. The Golden Eagles, only unbeaten team in conference play. Though they faced a scare their last time out against DePaul, Marquette needed overtime to take down the Blue Demons in Chicago on Tuesday. And at 8 o'clock, St. John's makes the trek across the Hudson to face Seton Hall. The 15-3 Red Storm off to their best 18-game start since the 85-86 season. Also the return of former Pirate Kadari Richmond to the Prudential Center. He was first-team All-Big East last season as he led Seton Hall to the NIT championship. Speaking of the Hall, the 6th-ranked UConn women's basketball team will host the upstart Pirates tomorrow at 1 inside Gamble Pavilion. The Hall have been one of the surprises of the league, a 6-1 conference record, although UConn hasn't lost to the Pirates at home in almost 41 years. Bob and Debbie will have the call starting with a Hard Auto Group countdown to tip-off at 12:30 p.m. tomorrow. We'll drop in on the top 25 after the break. It's Creighton 35, UConn 28, presented by Brown, Panderas, and Scott. This is UConn men's basketball from Learfield.
Hey, Husky fans! Basketball season is here, and SeatGeek is here to help you experience all the action. SeatGeek makes it easy to find tickets so you can be a part of all the courtside celebrations this season. Whether you're buying or selling tickets to UConn basketball games or to any other live event in your area, SeatGeek is the place to do it. SeatGeek is the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the UConn Huskies. The most disruptive idea in ticketing? A ticket that works. Expect the expected. SeatGeek.
UConn fans, when it comes to sports injuries, do you know where the Huskies go?
UConn Health, Connecticut's public academic medical center. Our doctors advance research and train future generations of healthcare experts.
All while offering the latest in injury prevention, treatment, and performance improvement for athletes, for everyone.
When it comes to UConn athletics, our physicians are their physicians and should be your physicians too.
Make their doctors your doctors.
UConn Health. Learn more at health.uconn.edu.
Planning a move? Let Lippincott Van Lines, the official mover of the UConn Huskies, take the worry and stress out of your relocation. Whether you're moving across the country, across the world, or just across the street, Lippincott Van Lines will handle your packing, moving, and storage needs with the care and quality they deserve. If the UConn Huskies football team can trust Lippincott to get their gear to the field on time, you can trust them to get your items where they need to be. Call Lippincott Van Lines today for a free estimate at 800-245-8563.
Flex Premium Athleisure is softness that plays hard. From the couch, to the gym, to the office, and beyond. Flex gives you premium comfort and style that keeps up with anything, without costing everything. Now, take an extra 15% off Flex at Kohl's. Whether you're chasing the ball or chasing the kids, life's a workout. Flex with it, exclusively at Kohl's. 15% off valid through January 20th. Some exclusions apply. See store or kohls.com for details.
At the half at Gamble Pavilion, it's 35-28, Creighton over UConn. Paul Roper with you in the Learfield Network studios as the KeyBank halftime report continues with scores from the top 25. Good one going on at Rupp Arena between 4th-ranked Alabama and number 8 Kentucky. It's a 4-point game as they're headed towards the half. Alabama leading 47-43 over UK, 41% shooting for the Tide and 43% shooting for Kentucky as the teams have combined for 11 three-pointers in that one. 10th-ranked Houston right now facing some trouble against UCF in Orlando. The Knights with a 38-30 halftime lead. A couple of games will tip off the top of the hour. Number 1, Auburn visits 23rd-ranked Georgia. Dogs ranked for the first time in 14 years, but they'll need to win in order to stay ranked after they lost to Tennessee earlier in the week. Right now, Georgia in a gauntlet in the SEC, which is to be expected considering the number of ranked teams that are currently from the SEC. And also at 1 o'clock, the Sunflower Showdown inside the Fog between number 9 Kansas and Kansas State. Again, our halftime score is Creighton 35 and UConn 28. The Mariners back with halftime stats after 10 seconds for station identification. And these messages presented by Brown, Panderas, and Scott. This is UConn men's basketball from Learfield.
When severe weather rolls in, every second counts. That's why you trust the largest team of local weather experts and First Alert Live Radar.
Heavy rain moving toward the Hartford area.
Connecticut's only live radar tracks storms border to border and right down to your street, giving you the first alert anytime, anywhere.
We're expecting thunderstorms to develop.
First Alert Live Radar from Channel 3. Because when seconds count, having a first alert is everything.
At KeyBank, we know a small moment like,
whoa, my kid's got a serious backhand,
can lead to an even bigger question like,
tennis campus how much?
And that's the type of moment where we'll meet you to help you build a savings plan for expenses big and small so your money can make money. Mike, how's that sound?
Sounds like match point.
Sounds like love.
We could serve up tennis puns all day.
For every financial need, we'll meet you in the moment. KeyBank opens doors. KeyBank member FDIC.
The passion, the tradition, the rivalries. SiriusXM is your destination for all things college sports, and we've got you covered. On SiriusXM College Sports Radio, there's complete coverage of every major conference, including live games, plus 24/7 talk and analysis. So cheer along on the SiriusXM app and listen to your favorite team anywhere. And now you can get 3 months of SiriusXM free. Subscribe now. See offer details at SiriusXM.com/College Sports Radio 24.
A true teammate takes on every day with a winner's attitude, gets up when they fall down, and leaves it all on the field. There's a group of teammates who do all these things every single day. But they're more than your typical athlete. They're kids dealing with unthinkable medical circumstances. Team Impact matches children facing serious illness or disability with college sports teams, creating a long-term, life-changing experience for everyone involved. Help us get all kids in the game. Visit teamimpact.org. Team Impact. All in, all together.
UConn has trailed at the half 3 of the last 4 games, down 12 to Providence and down 7 to Villanova. And here this afternoon, Creighton leads 35-28 at the half, closing the half on a 10-2 run. Blue Jays led by Jemiah Neal, who was 7 of 8 from the floor, 3 of 3 from three-point range. He had 17 points. His career high at Villanova, Creighton is 21 set against Villanova. Ryan Kalkbrenner was 2 for 7 from the floor, but he did have a game high 6 rebounds. He had 6 points. Jackson McAndrew made a 3. Jason Green started, did not score. Stephen Ashworth just 1 of 4 from the floor. He made a 3. He's got 3 points. Well, off the bench, they got 6 points by Isaac Trout and no points by Mason Miller, Frederick King, and Shane Thomas. UConn led in scoring by Solo Ball and Hassan Diarra, 8 points apiece. Jalen Stewart had 6, including the Huskies' only dunk. Alex Caravan, 0 for 3, no points, 2 rebounds, but a team-high 3 blocks. Off the bench, they got 4 quick ones from Aiden Mahaney, who played 6 minutes. Terrace Reed did not score, but he shared the rebounding lead with Diarra with 3 apiece. And Jaden Ross and Ahmad Noel played limited minutes and did not score for the Huskies, who shot 13 for 27 from the floor in the first half, 48%. They were 2 of 6 from 3 and did not go to the free throw line in the first half. In the first half of the last 4 games, UConn has only taken 7 free throw attempts. It's been a big problem all year for the Huskies, especially in the first half. While for Creighton, they were 12 of 28, 43%. They missed 6 of the last 7 shots of the half, but they were 6 of 15 from 3, with Neal hitting 3 of those. They out-rebounded the Huskies 15-13, 5 offensive rebounds for Creighton. They got 6 second-chance points off that. They are not a good offensive rebounding team. UConn got just 2 offensive rebounds, 2 second-chance points. UConn 7 assists on 13 field goals. Creighton 6 assists on 12 field goals. Creighton just 3 turnovers in the first half, good for 7 UConn points. Huskies had 4 of their 5 first-half turnovers in the final 5:19 of the half, and Creighton got 5 points off those. Huskies got no steals. They got the 3 blocks all by Caravan. Creighton had 1 steal and 2 blocks in the first half. Points in the paint, 22-10 UConn. Fast break points, 4-0 UConn. Bench production, UConn 4 points, 4 rebounds. Creighton 6 points and 2 rebounds. I thought layups were interesting in the first half. UConn was 7 of 11. That's not bad, especially with Kalkbrenner in the lane. But the 4 they missed seemed to be all altered by the 7-1 senior, while Creighton was 1 for 5 on layups in the first half. Huskies had a 10-2 lead early. Creighton now leads by 7 at halftime. Each team had an 8-0 scoring run. There were 5 lead changes and 2 ties in the first half, with Creighton on top 35-28. We're back with the second half. You are listening to UConn men's basketball on Learfield, presented by Brown, Panderas, and Scott.
Hi, this is Nick Kaplanson from Dime Bank. To win a championship, it takes more than just good players and coaches. It takes a whole community dedicated to the same goal. The same is true when it comes to banking. A successful banking relationship is built from a community fully dedicated to meeting the banking needs of its customers. If you're ready to experience a better approach to banking, come join our community at Dime. It's your bank, your choice, your Dime.
Dime Bank. Community banking lives here. Member FDIC.
Is your retirement game plan a well-executed play or a Hail Mary pass? Hi, I'm Jake Dozer, Certified Financial Planner. At Johnson Brunetti, we've helped over 5,000 families prepare for and live in retirement. And now we're proud to be the official wealth management sponsor of the UConn Huskies. Visit us at johnsonbrunetti.com and get free financial planning books and resources. Johnson Brunetti, Retirement and Investment Specialists.
Johnson Brunetti is a marketing name for the businesses of JB Capital and JN Financial. Investment advisory services offered through JB Capital, LLC. Insurance products offered through JN Financial, LLC.
Power Station Events is the official production partner of the UConn Huskies, the ultimate one-stop source featuring audio, video, lighting, staging, talented DJs and musicians, photography and videography, stunning decor and florals, and much more. As we celebrate our 40th anniversary, we want to thank UConn Nation as we look forward to the next 40 years. Visit us at powerstationevents.com and let us help you plan your next awesome event.
College sports fans now have access to hundreds of weekly podcasts that zero in on the college sports world. Now available in the Varsity Podcast Network and part of the new Varsity app. The app is free and available from wherever you get your favorite apps. Download the Varsity app today to have access to hundreds of national podcasts as well as your favorite team-focused podcasts. The Varsity Podcast Network, now available for free on the Varsity app. Download from the App Store and listen today.
This copyrighted broadcast is an exclusive presentation of Learfield under the broadcasting rights granted by the University of Connecticut. Reuse of this presentation is prohibited without the expressed written consent of the University of Connecticut and Learfield. Announcers are provided by Learfield and approved by the University of Connecticut.
UConn Creighton second half. The Huskies have trailed at halftime 3-0 last 4 games. They've come back to win a couple of them. Providence had a double-digit lead at halftime right in this building not too long ago. It's going to require UConn tightening up on defense, certainly on the perimeter, and Alex Caravan contributing. He played 19 minutes in the first half, went 0 for 3, had 2 rebounds and 1 assist.
I think one of the keys in that first half was that UConn did what they wanted to do. They contained Kalkbrenner and Ashworth at the offensive end. Those two combined for just 9 points. The problem was Jemiah Neal and his primary defender, solo ball.
All right, UConn will work at the basket where their own bench is. And in the home white against Creighton's Blue Jays in their Blue Jay blue. Caravan gives to Diarra. He starts to the front court, hits, hands over the ball on the right sideline. Now it's Stewart, left wing, it's Caravan. Back to Diarra, guarded by Ashworth. Kalkbrenner just hangs around in the paint waiting to clean things up right now. They get it to Karaban. Karaban in the paint. A floater by Alex off the right wing. No good. Fight for the rebound. Kalkbrenner came up with it. He's got 7 now. And here come the Blue Jays. Front court right. Kalkbrenner at the high post left. Guarded by Samson Johnson. Starts to his right on a handoff. It's loose. And diving on the floor, Sampson. And what do we have? We have a held ball. It'll be Creighton basketball. As Sampson went down hard for it. He's being helped up right now, right in front of us.
And that was Johnson defending Kalkbrenner outside the three-point line. He wasn't going to shoot it out there, but good defense by Johnson, who has been a little quick with his hands when defending Kalkbrenner. Lucky he wasn't called on those.
Miller will inbound to our right, out front to Ashworth. Ashworth guarded by Diarra. Fires it right to Neal. He's got Jalen on him. Tries to blow by Stewart. He powers it up and in. What a play. That time again by Jemiah Neal. He's the game's high scorer and the player of the game right now. 8 of 9. Just overpowered Jalen Stewart, and UConn trails by 9, 37-28. Samson Johnson out front at the high post and a handoff to Diarra. He drives inside on Kalkbrenner, puts up a floater, no good. And it's loose, and Diarra came up with it. Back to Solo for 3. Ball knocks it down. Straight away. UConn back within 6, 37-31. Ball in double figures with 11. Diarra guards Ashworth closely across the timeline. Ashworth on the left sideline at the hash. Near his own bench. Now he fires it right to Neal. He's isolated with Stewart on the right. He jabs with his right foot. Backs away with a dribble, left-hand dribble. Now he tries to get momentum. A backdoor cut by Ashworth to beat Diarra for the layup. And Creighton scores it. They're up 39-31, 2 minutes into the second half. Now Diarra front court left. Off the high screen, a Karaban drives to the basket, dumps to Samson Johnson, who stuffs it home, and he's fouled. So Johnson powered it in, the Monaco Ford championship drive. Aiden Mahaney drives the Monaco Ford. You can too. Visit MonacoFord.com for current offers. So Sampson will go to the line, and UConn will get a chance for a three-point play. They're within 6, 2 minutes in.
Dunk number 27 of the year for Johnson, who had 77 last year, 5th most in the country. Huskies have 2 field goals in the second half, 2 for 4 shooting, both assisted on by Diarra. He's got 5.
All right, so Sampson, free throw up, and it rolls in off the left side of the rim. UConn's first free throw of the game. They had not attempted one in the first half. 39-34. Here's Miller outside the arc, and he gives to Neal. Started by Jalen Stewart. Neal jabs. Tries to go by him, can't do it. Backs away behind the arc. Jemiah Neal again, double team for the moment. Gives up his dribble, fires it right to Miller. Gets it back on the left sideline. Jemiah Neal down to 5, down to 4. Trying to go by Diarra. He attacks right, puts up a wild shot, and it's no good. Short. Rebounded by Diarra. 12-footer up the right wing. Off the front rim, here's Diarra to the basket. Kicks near corner to Stewie. Stewie delivers a 3. And UConn within 2, 39-37. Here's Ashworth, front court right. Backs away and a pick and roll to Kalkbrenner, who dunks. Got away with a shuffle, but he dunks it home on a nice pick and roll. And Creighton quiets the crowd for the moment. 3 minutes into the second half. Is leading 41-37.
44th dunk of the year. I mentioned Johnson has 27. You get the ball inside to him, and he can usually finish.
Now here's Diarra on the right sideline. Hands to Ball on a little weave with Karaban. Back to Diarra on the right hash. Hassan. Crossover, guarded by Ashworth under 10. Starts back to his right of a screen by Johnson. Into the paint, a floater by Diarra. Oh, a teardrop goes in. What a beauty. Hassan, the junkyard dog, delivers on O.
He's been great in the second half. A field goal and 3 assists.
Here's Ashworth for 3. In and out. Rebound. Ball up the left wing. He tried a long one. Ball to the front court. Drives inside on Kalkbrenner. Missed the shot. Batted around. Jalen Stewart will try a 3. No good. Rebound by Ashworth. Off the left wing, they try to go long ball to get the lead. Couldn't do it. Oh, Ashworth, front court right. Picks up his dribble, starts to his right. Guarded by Samson Johnson. He goes down low, and they turn it over. They had a mismatch. Kalkbrenner guarded by Caravan, and they throw it away, number 4. And Greg McDermott is really upset that time. They had the mismatch they wanted, could not get the ball to the big man.
Huskies have outscored Creighton 11-6 in the second half, even though the Blue Jays have shot 3 for 5.
All right, Key Hyundai in Milford, Genesis at Milford, and Middletown Chevrolet. They're the home of the 1 million mile powertrain warranty for all new car sales. You're listening to UConn Men's Hoop on Learfield. The Huskies down by 2, 41-39, 4 minutes into the second. It's presented by Brown Paint Harrison Scott.
Are you traveling out of Bradley Airport and need a safe, reliable place to park your car? Trust your vehicle to Last Fly Off-Airport Parking, located on Route 75 in Windsor Locks. They have both valet and self-park options to fit any budget. Last Fly is open 24 hours a day and will get you to the airport on time every time. Join their loyalty program to earn points for free parking, and be sure to ask about their corporate discounts. Save 20% by pre-booking online at lazfly.com. Last Fly is the official parking company and a proud supporter of UConn Athletics.
UConn fans, when it comes to sports injuries, do you know where the Huskies go?
UConn Health, Connecticut's public academic medical center. Our doctors advance research and train future generations of healthcare experts.
All while offering the latest in injury prevention, treatment, and performance improvement for athletes, for everyone.
When it comes to UConn athletics, our physicians are their physicians and should be your physicians too.
Make their doctors your doctors.
UConn Health. Learn more at health.uconn.edu.
Aw, shucks, the game's on TV, but I can't listen to the call of my favorite team broadcasters.
Never fear, Sync My Game is here.
Sync My Game?
Yes, Sync My Game. If you have a DVR and streaming device, head to syncmygame.com from Learfield. It's never been easier to hear the impassioned voices of your favorite radio crew synced with the TV.
Wow, thank you, Mr.
Just remember, syncmygame.com.
This is UConn Men's Basketball, presented by Key Bank. Now back to our broadcast location.
When the holidays get real, shop Kohl's at Kohl's.com, where you'll find amazing deals on everything you need, all in one place, so you can focus on the moments that matter. Kohl's, where families come first. It's a two-point game. 4 minutes into the second half, Creighton 41-39, led by 7 at the break.
And the Huskies finally got their first free throw. Johnson made it. A couple of threes in the second half. Ball and Stewart. Hassan Diarra able to put the ball down the right side of the lane and drive it in. 3 assists, 1 field goal in the second half for General Hassan, as Coach Hurley likes to call it. And the Huskies able to get back within 2 points. It was this date in 1978, 47 years ago, the Hartford Civic Center roof collapsed at 4:19 in the morning after a foot of snow had fallen on the roof. 1,400 tons came crashing down 6 hours after UConn had beaten UMass 56-49. Al Lewis had 18 points, 8 rebounds in that game. The next game scheduled for Hartford that year was at the New Haven Coliseum. 2 games later, UConn lost that game to Providence, and the rest of the Hartford games that year, they moved to the Fieldhouse, now called the Greer Fieldhouse, not far from where we're sitting here at Gamble on campus. Big second half for the Huskies, though, and it's a little surprising with Ryan Kalkbrenner there that UConn has dominated points in the paint, 26-14.
One of several close games in the top 25. Paul Roper has all that info back in the studio. As UConn down by 2. Here has the ball in the front court left. It's Caraman with a hard drive to the basket and a lot of contact, and Caraman goes down hard.
Holding his ankle.
And a whistle blows, and he is in some pain. He's going to be helped up. Let's see. He is limping over to the foul line right now.
He gives the thumbs up to Coach Hurley. His way of saying, keep me in.
Well, let's see. He tries to inbound it to Caravan on the right sideline, out front to Samson Johnson. A handoff to Diarra. Turns and fires a 3. Back rim no good. And a rebound. Caravan got it. And it's knocked out of bounds by Kalkbrenner. Wow. Oh, man, what hustle by Special K. And he is hurting. He's leaning down and pulling on his right foot. right now he's staying in the game, and Dan Hurley is going to leave him in there. We'll see. Sometimes you can walk these things off, but this does not look good. They look to inbound the ball. Diarra gets it into Caravan. Out front to Johnson. Back to Alex off the high screen. Caravan into the paint. Floater. Good! Oh, what a shot! Oh! Alex the Great ties it at 41. Now, Neal, front court left. They go down low to Kalkbrenner. Intercepted out of bounds off of Creighton. And the Huskies are starting to tighten up. Got to tighten the screws up on the Blue Jays. They've tied the ball game.
Just 5 turnovers for Creighton, 5 for UConn as well, but 2 have come on Creighton here in the second half.
And Caravan is walking this off up the court. Amazing. All right, here comes Diarra, front court left. Outside the arc on the left wing, and a kick to Samson Johnson on the left side. He hands to Caravan, who cuts to the basket. He attacks his man. He puts it up. Oh, I missed the shot, but he'll get 2 free throws. Miller fouled him. He changed direction in midair. I love that. That was a good move by Alex. Now 2 free throws to give UConn the lead.
First on Miller. Seems Caravan's more aggressive since hurting his ankle.
Well, I think you don't want to sit around, right? You don't want to stand around. Sometimes you don't want to go to the bench and sit around. It'll tighten up.
13-6 UConn here in the second half, and I think that's one reason why he gave him the thumbs up. Keep me in the game. I don't want to sit with this.
Yeah, you got to stay hot. Keep sweating. He makes the first free throw.
Free throws have been an issue for him for the first time in his career. Before that free throw, the last 2 games have been 1 for 4, including those 2 big ones at Villanova.
Well, he makes them both here. And UConn now leads 43-41. Dan Hurley exhorting the crowd. Let's go. Ashworth walks it across the timeline.
First UConn lead since 26-25.
Ashworth on the right sideline on a handoff to Neal. Neal guarded by Stewart. Looking for help. Hands back to Ashworth. Who starts left. Got DR in his hip pocket. Ashworth back to his right. Looking to hand it up in the backdoor cut. And Neal able to get it and dunk it home. What a pass by Ashworth. And we're tied at 43.
That ties his season and career high at Villanova, 21.
And back to Caravan in the left corner. Out front to Johnson. Back to Alex. Into the paint. Caravan floater. No good. Batted around and out of bounds. It's off of Creighton. And a timeout. Well, no, we get substitutions first. Jason Green will come in. The sophomore forward from Omaha. And Isaac Trout as well for Creighton. As Ball looks to inbound the ball. Gets it into Jalen Stewart. In the near corner, back out front to Johnson. Johnson on handoff to Caravan. Caravan into the paint with it. Little floater by Alex. No good front rim. Batted around. And Creighton comes up with it. Blue Jays 6 minutes into the second half tied. Here's Ashworth, front court right at the right wing. He's trying to go down low to Kalkbrenner, and a foul's been called on Jalen Stewart. As Stewie was tangled up with Kalkbrenner. Kalkbrenner had an elbow in his chops. The foul called on Stewart. And Samson Johnson will come out. Terrace Reed will come in. UConn needs big minutes from Terrace Reed right here against Kalkbrenner. As Jason Green gets it into Ashworth on the near corner, guarded by DR, and the ball deflected out of bounds by Hassan.
Caravan was making some signs at the bench as he bent over and held that right ankle again. Don't know what the signs meant because he didn't come out.
All right. Green looks to inbound. He gets it in to Jemiah Neal, the senior guard, with it outside the arc, guarded by Stewart. Gives it left to Ashworth. He's got DR on him. Ashworth backs away. Starts to his right. They go pick and roll at Kalkbrenner. They give it to Trout in the corner for 3, and he hits. Isaac Trout on a nice feed from Kalkbrenner. And Creighton back up 46-43. Caravan definitely favoring an ankle as he runs up the court. There's Ball and a handoff to Hassan. Left wing, he starts right, guarded by Ashworth. Screened by Caravan. They kick it right to Ball. Dribble penetration solo. Back shot no good from 15. Rebounded by Neal. Neal runs to the front court. He hands to Ashworth. Gets it back on the right wing. Neal guarded by Stewart. Puts it on the floor. Goes down low to Green, and it's out of bounds. They turn it over. Number 6.
3 in the first half. 3 in the first half. 3 in the second half.
Mahaney in for ball. Solo goes to the bench with 11.
One reason UConn has come back is that Creighton stopped making threes. Their last three in the first half came with 4:47 to go. Trout's three a moment ago came at 13:35. They went just about 8 minutes without a three made.
All right, Reed has it top of the arc. Hands to Caravan, front court left. Alex holds, starts to his left, and he gives back to Diarra. They go back to Caravan in the near corner. Caravan drives baseline on Kalkbrenner. Hey, lays it up, in and out. Oh, was halfway down the cylinder. Good drive, though, by Caravan.
Coach Hurley applauding. He liked the move.
All right, here's Ashworth. Trying to drive it left of the lane. Backs away outside the arc. Guarded by Diarra. Starts to his right. Picked up by Reed on the switch. They go alley-oop to Kalkbrenner, and he dunks it. So Creighton able to score back-to-back, and they lead it 48-43. 12 minutes, 15 seconds to go.
7-0 run.
Diarra, front court left. Gives it up to Mahaney, who just came in the ball game. Gets it back. Hassan holds. Gives to Reed at the high post right. Takes a handoff back. He's outside the arc. Looking for Mahaney in a cut. Mahaney back to Hassan. Dribble penetration, Diarra. And he lost the ball. Regained it back to Mahaney for three. And no good, back rim. Rebound Stewart. And a foul's called on Jalen Stewart. Be careful. Dan Hurley really upset. And Tim Clockerty is listening to it and telling him to go back to the bench.
You got that offensive rebound because he pushed off. That's 3 fouls on Jay Stu.
All right, so timeout on the floor. Today's game sponsor is Visit Central Florida. UConn trails 48-43. 11:48 left in the game. You're listening to UConn men's basketball on Learfield, presented by Brown Paint, Darris and Scott.
Hi, this is Nick Kaplanson from Dime Bank. To win a championship, it takes more than just good players and coaches. It takes a whole community dedicated to the same goal. The same is true when it comes to banking. A successful banking relationship is built from a community fully dedicated to meeting the banking needs of its customers. If you're ready to experience a better approach to banking, come join our community at Dime. It's your bank, your choice, your Dime.
Dime Bank. Community banking lives here. Member FDIC.
We're back in 60 seconds after this from your local station. This is the UConn Sports Network from Learfield.
This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Comes to a gun suicide attempt, all it takes is a moment.
Heather and I had an argument just like any other couple. I was lost. I had snapped. I had a gun and I was going to take my own life. Heather helped me realize that there was still a life to live for the better of myself, my family. My weapon is now safely put away.
A moment of crisis can happen to anyone. Store your guns, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo. Hear more safe stories at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
If you're looking for better banking, huddle up with Dime Bank. 14 convenient locations in Connecticut and Rhode Island. Dime Bank, community banking lives here. Creighton back ahead by 5, 48-43 with 11:48 to go. UConn won their last 9 from the field.
And Creighton's hit 4 of its last 5. Huskies started the half hot, missed their first 2, then made the next 4, and that's how they got up by a couple of points, but just 1 field goal since that time, as Creighton has taken 7 fewer shots, but they made 1 more shot in the second half. And in the second half, UConn has outscored Creighton 15-13. I'm sitting about 5 feet to the left of the son of UConn coach Jim Calhoun. Jeff Calhoun is with the Fox television crew today. He's doing stats. He's got the laptop and the box score in front of it, a bunch of little scraps of paper, and every time something goes on. But it's the first time I've seen him doing that. He's doing stats for the TV crew today.
We need a guy like that.
You got me.
We got you. We don't need that. But I like the little scraps of paper thing. All right, so
would you like when there's 3 turnovers? I hold up 3, and Mike knows it's 3 turnovers. You want me to put it on scrap paper instead?
I like scrap paper. All right, there's your answer. Caravan is not on the court. Oh, yes, he is. This guy, unbelievable.
Well, he's got the ankle thing. Liam McNeely's got the ankle thing. I talked to him before the game, and Coach Hurley indicates they still hope he gets back before the end of the month. He's got the boot off now about a week and a half, and he says he's in the pool doing the aqua therapy. Coach Hurley calls him Aquaman, about an hour a day, and he says, yes, it is feeling better.
I don't know. Alex Caravan looks to me to be about 70%. That's just an estimate. Here comes Creighton. Front court right, Jemiah Neal with it. He's guarded by Terrace Reed for the moment. Jaden Ross will pick him up as Neal gives it up on the right sideline to Jason Green. Foul line extended. Green dribbles left, gives back to Neal. And now Ashworth, he's got Mahaney on him. He's under 10 to shoot. They go alley-oop to Neal, and he lays it in. Oh, man, they've made that work 3 different times. And Neal over the top now has 23. He's 10 of 12.
Career high, 23 points, done it twice, 21 in his career.
All right, here's Mahaney into the paint with it. A little floater. Kalkbrenner got a piece of it. It's loose. Reed came up with the offensive rebound to Hassan for 3. And Diarra delivers. They needed it. UConn back within 4, 50-46.
Ends the 9-0 run for Creighton. And he was wide open top of the circle. Nobody near him had to shoot that.
Ashworth hands it off to Green. Back to Neal. Starts to his right. Picked up by Diarra. Maybe he can slow this guy down. They give it up to Trout out front with Caravan on him. Back to Ashworth. Under 10 to shoot. Ashworth jabs with his right foot. He's looking to pick and roll with Kalkbrenner. Can't get it to him. Now Green. Trout in the corner in front of his own bench. Drives right. Goes to a massive fadeaway and made it. From 12 feet away, Isaac Trout has hurt UConn. He's got 11. And Trout, who averages 5. And the lead back to 6. Midway through the second half. 52-46. Creighton with the lead. Here's Reed with a handoff to Mahaney. Mahaney starts right, go back to Caravan on the left wing. Jab step move into the paint. Caravan attacks, ball loose. Reed came up with it. Now he's in trouble. He gives to Diarra, who drives baseline. Diarra outside of Mahaney for 3. And back rim no good. Rebound, Neal. And what do we have? A foul, I believe, is called on Reed as he was tied up with Neal. And Neal just ran into, deliberately, Diarra at center court. Diarra didn't like it. Right in front of us. So getting under the skin of the Huskies are the Creighton Blue Jays right now.
So that's 3 fouls on Reed, 3 fouls on Jalen Stewart.
All right, so Ashworth inbounds the ball. Under 10 minutes to go. Ashworth across the timeline, guarded by Diarra. On the right wing, it's Jaden Ross matching up with Jemiah Neal. And out front, Ashworth stolen by Haas, and Haas dunks. Junkyard Dog. What a nice play, and the Huskies are back within 4. And Diarra double figures 13 this afternoon to lead the Huskies.
Got a steal and his first dunk of the year.
And he got shoved by Jemiah Neal a moment ago. That might have got a little fire under him. And here's Ashworth, starts right. Picks up his dribble. Well, he fires in the near corner. He has it. Out front to Kalkbrenner. He's guarded by Reed. Hands back to Neal. Neal guarded by Ross. Puts it on the floor. Pushes, shoves, crosses over. Attacks Ross. Got him in the air. Banks it, missed it. And that is a shot clock violation. It did not touch the rim. That is the 8th turnover by Creighton. Yes, this place is electric right now.
Last couple of possessions, UConn has forced Creighton to take that shot clock in single numbers. Trout able to beat it at the shot clock buzzer. He was able to get it to go in for their last field goal.
Creighton says the ball hit the rim. I don't think so. As the shot clock was expiring, they're going to review it, and that's why we're pausing here. Creighton leads 52-48 with under 9 minutes to go. Good defense that time by Jaden Ross, but then he left his feet. And they were lucky because they helped defense by Reed.
That didn't hit the rim. It overshot the hoop. He was on the right side, about 2 feet away, went off the backboard and off the weak side. I'd be very surprised if they give it to Creighton.
No, they don't. But notice what Greg McDermott just did. He asked for that so he could bring his team in and draw something up. He got a free timeout. It was a free timeout. That was a nice move by a head coach.
Before that miss, Creighton was 8 for 10 from the floor in the second half.
UConn with the basketball. 8:54 to go.
One thing Dan Hurley talked about yesterday, key to the game today, we've got to play better defense. 3-point defense, but interior defense. Well, 8 for 10, not good.
All right, Ross on the right sideline at the hash, out front to Reed, left wing Diarra. Diarra out front to Caravan, long three. No good, back rim. Ross chases it down, and Ashworth comes up with it. Ashworth into the front court, picked up by Ross. Ross backs away on the foul on extended right with a left-hand dribble. Ashworth looks, gives on the high post to Kalkbrenner. Starts to his left, the hands off to Neal. He attacks Reed. They kick back to Trout outside the arc left. Back in the hands of Neal. Jab step, down to 5, down to 4. He jabs one way, hold ball on him. He launches a jumper, no good. And rebounded by Trout. Trout has it. They get 20 seconds more. They kick it outside Ashworth for an NBA three. Good. So the Blue Jays keep making them when they need them. 55-48. That is now the 8th three by Creighton in the ballgame under 8 minutes to go. 55-48, Creighton with the lead. Here's Reed out front. The high post. Back to Diarra, and they turn it over. Kind of a lazy pass.
Timeout on the court. First turnover of the second half for the Huskies, 6 in the game.
So timeout, 7:37 to go with Creighton leading 55-48. And when you're out of town and want to keep up with live college sports, be sure to download the free Varsity Network app. Available for both Apple and Android. Listen to college sports live with the free Varsity Network app. Huskies down 7 as they were at halftime. 55-48 with 7:37 to go. You're listening to UConn men's basketball on Learfield. Presented by Brown, Penderas, and Scott.
Hey, Husky fans, basketball season is here, and SeatGeek is here to help you experience all the action. SeatGeek makes it easy to find tickets so you can be a part of all the courtside celebrations this season. Whether you're buying or selling tickets to UConn basketball games or to any other live event in your area, SeatGeek is the place to do it. SeatGeek is the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the UConn Huskies. The most disruptive idea in ticketing, a ticket that works. Expect the expected. SeatGeek.
Planning a move? Let Lippincott Van Lines, the official mover of the UConn Huskies, take the worry and stress out of your relocation. Whether you're moving across the country, across the world, or just across the street, Lippincott Van Lines will handle your packing, moving, and storage needs with the care and quality they deserve. If the UConn Huskies football team can trust Lippincott to get their gear to the field on time, you can trust them to get your items where they need to be. Call Lippincott Van Lines today for a free estimate at 800-245-8563.
A true teammate takes on every day with a winner's attitude, gets up when they fall down, and leaves it all on the field. There's a group of teammates who do all these things every single day. But they're more than your typical athlete. They're kids dealing with unthinkable medical circumstances. Team Impact matches children facing serious illness or disability with college sports teams, creating a long-term, life-changing experience for everyone involved. Help us get all kids in the game. Visit teamimpact.org. Team Impact. All in, all together.
The UConn Huskies are on the air. You're listening to UConn men's basketball, presented by KeyBank. Now back to our broadcast location.
Men will return to action Tuesday night at the XL Center. The host, the Butler Bulldogs, and the Big East Clash. Radio coverage Tuesday night at 6:30 here along the UConn Sports Network, the Varsity Network app, and the VarsityNetwork.com.
Huskies have a relatively quick turnaround playing on Tuesday. Butler played on Wednesday night, I think it was, when they defeated Seton Hall by 4 points. Here it's 20-20 in the second half, and Creighton's back to the 7-point lead, 55-48, thanks to that red-hot second-half shooting, as they are now 9 of 13, 69% in the second half, even though they missed a couple of shots in a row. And the Huskies cooled off in the second half down to 35%, 7 of 20 for the game, 43%. Back on Thursday, Dan Hurley turned 52 years old, and he was talking yesterday about some of the memories he had, because his birthday always comes during basketball season. The one he brought up was his first season here at UConn when UConn was in the AAC, and they played at Tulsa and official Pat Adams ejected him from the game on his birthday. Huskies lost.
Oh, man. That's a bad memory.
Well, that's what he said.
You had to bring that up, didn't you? All right, so Caravan's still in the ballgame. I don't know.
1 for 6 in the second half. Got a field goal right after his injury.
1 of 9 overall. There's Creighton now with a 7-point lead. 7.5 to go. Ashworth front court right. And Diarra steals. Ashworth able to get it back. And it's stolen again by Diarra. And Ashworth got it back again. It's in the hands of Jemiah Neal. And Neal has it on the left wing with under 10 to go. He starts to his right. Stewart tried to guard him. He backs away, gives to Kalkbrenner, who now fires a three. Kalkbrenner, back rim, no good. And a foul is called on UConn. It's on Alex Caravan, and that is UConn's fourth team.
Alex's first. Second three-point attempt by Kalkbrenner, who takes more and makes more this year. Coach McDermott said before the game it's because they want to get him NBA ready. He'll need to do that in the bigs.
All right, Kalkbrenner, we're back down low to Green, and Green able to beat Diarra and bank it home from close range. 57-48, UConn down 9 with 7 minutes to go. Here's ball out front to Hassan on the right wing. Hassan holds, looks, fires left to Johnson at the high post left. Sampson with a couple of dribbles, gives to Caravan. Caravan into the paint, floats it up and in. Nice runner by Alex from about 8 feet away. 57-50, 6.5 to go. Creighton leads. Ashworth out at the timeline. Gives it up left to Kalkbrenner. Takes it back on the left hash. In front of his coach, Greg McDermott. Starts back to his right, picked up by Ball on a switch. They fired a Neal in the far corner. He's got Stewart in front of him. Now they're down to 5 to shoot. Neal just dilly-dallying. Now he attacks Jalen Stewart, and a shot clock violation as he missed the shot. And UConn runs to the front court. Diarra to Stewart in the near corner for 3. Stewie hits. All right, UConn still in it. 57-53, under 6 minutes to go. Stewart with a dozen. And Greg McDermott wants a timeout. He's upset with the officials. He thought there was a foul at the final 2 seconds of that last sequence.
They gave Diarra a block on that layup by Neal. That's what I was talking about a moment ago, that they're running a lot of time off the clock and sometimes put up prayers, and that time Diarra able to get the block, his 7th of the year.
That's okay. Keep doing that. Good idea. All right, do you have complex legal issues that are personal, business, or both? Brown, Payne, Darris, and Scott get you more than a lawyer. You get a law firm. Visit bpslawyers.com or reach out at 860-CALL-BPS. That's 860-CALL-BPS. 57-53, Creighton leads. 5:49 to go. You're listening to UConn men's basketball on Learfield, presented by Brown, Payne, Darris, and Scott.
Is your retirement game plan a well-executed play or a Hail Mary pass? Hi, I'm Jake Dozer, Certified Financial Planner. At Johnson Brunetti, we've helped over 5,000 families prepare for and live in retirement. And now we're proud to be the official wealth management sponsor of the UConn Huskies. Visit us at johnsonbrunetti.com and get free financial planning books and resources. Johnson Brunetti, Retirement and Investment Specialists.
Johnson Brunetti is a marketing name for the businesses of JB Capital and JN Financial. Investment advisory services offered through JB Capital, LLC. Insurance products offered through JN Financial, LLC.
Husky men's basketball returns in 60 seconds. This is the UConn Sports Network from Learfield.
You say you never give in to a meltdown and never fill your feed with kid photos. You say you'd never put a pacifier in your mouth to clean it and never let them run wild through the grocery store. So when you say you'd never let them get into a car without you there, no, it can happen. 1 in 4 hot car deaths happen when a kid gets into an unlocked car and can't get out. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
UConn fans, UConn football wrapped up its historic 2024 season, and season tickets for 2025 are now on sale. Head coach Jim Moore and the Huskies finished 2024 with 9 wins, most since 2007, and a victory in the Fenway Bowl. Visit UConnHuskies.com/football for details on how to become a 2025 UConn football season ticket holder at Rentschler Field this fall.
Huskies have done a decent job containing the two big guns for Creighton, Kalkbrenner and Ashworth. They combined average 35 points a game on the season. They've got 18 combined in this one, 9 in the second half. But it's been the play of Jemiah Neal. They have not been able to stop. No answers for him. 10 of 15 from the floor, 3 for 4 from 3. 23 points. UConn's rotated defenders on him. Nothing works.
All right, Ashworth off the inbound straight away. Between the rings, guarded by Diarra. Bounce pass to Neal on the right wing. And Neal fires out front to Trout. He's got Caravan on him. Just to Ashworth out front. And Diarra guards him. Ashworth drives to his right. Gives him the near corner. Neal's jumper, no good. Long. And Ball couldn't get the rebound. Jason Green did, but he threw it out of bounds. Solo Ball's got to do a better job of blocking out. You can't let an offensive rebounder get down the baseline like that. UConn gets lucky and gets the ball with 5:27 to go, down by 4.
9th Creighton turnover. They average 13 a game.
All right, here's Caravan on the left wing to Stewart. Now Diarra, guarded by Ashworth, nearly stole it. Out front it comes to Ball. Ball turns and fires a 3. Right rim, no good. Long rebound, tracked down by Samson Johnson, and he threw it away. Want to go cross court, bad pass. Back the other way, Neal. And Neal is fouled by Caravan on the drive. And there'll be 2 free throws coming for Jemiah Neal.
That was a hard foul. Neal went hard into the stanchion as Caravan came off to the right side saying, "I got all ball."
Yeah, he got him with a body too. Good play though, because he was going in for a dunk. And now Greg McDermott, looking for an extra timeout, wants a review to see if the play was made on the ball. So James Breeding, I don't think is going to review that. He saw it. He was right there. He did make a play on the ball. It wouldn't be an intentional. And he gets the explanation.
2 fouls on Caravan.
So on the free throw line, it's Jemiah Neal, where he was 17 of 25 on the season. Coming in, his first free throw attempt, no good. Off the back rim. And this UConn crowd is on their feet, 10,000 strong. Nobody's sitting down in this place.
Well, you know, it is the basketball capital of the world.
All right, Neal, another chance. And he makes that one. He's got 24 points, career high. We mentioned it. 10 for 16. He had been 8 of 10. So 2 of his last 6. And his free throw gives Creighton a 5-point lead, 58-53. Here's Caravan. Hands off to Samson Johnson. Now on a wheel play. Here's Ball into the paint. And Solomon hits. A little pull-up from 10 feet away. And UConn within 3. 58-53. Ball leading the way now with 15, along with Diarra. Here's Ashworth, front court left at the hash. He's isolated with Diarra. Looks to give it up to Neal. Still has the dribble under 10. Starts to his right. Attacks inside. He goes alley-oop to Kalkbrenner, and Kalkbrenner lost it. Samson Johnson came up with it, and he hands to Solo. Solo front court left. Ball into the paint. Spins, lays, good! And Ball has UConn within 1.
Love the way that he started to spin to the right, went by the defender by spinning back to the left and hit it off glass.
And the crowd is roaring. Here's Ashworth between the rings, fires left to Miller, gets it back on the hash in front of his own bench. Now he backs away, in trouble. Where's he going? Kalkbrenner, a dive by Sampson. It's loose. Kalkbrenner came up with it. Now he drives left. Ashworth fires in the near corner to Trout for 3. No! Rebound, UConn! Ball tipped it to Diarra. Hassan to the front court. 3.5 to go. Haas into the paint. Bumped by Ashworth. Bounce pass. It's Sampson, and he's fouled by Kalkbrenner. He missed the shot, but he'll get 2 free throws, and this UConn team will not die. It's never over till it's over, and that's not an original. But UConn is now down by 1 with a chance with the 2 free throws after the under 4-minute timeout to regain the lead.
Kalkbrenner's second foul.
UConn basketball presented in part by Johnson Brunetti, the official wealth management sponsor of the UConn Huskies. You're listening to UConn men's basketball on Learfield, presented by Brown, Penderas, and Scott.
The passion, the tradition, the rivalries. SiriusXM is your destination for all things college sports, and we've got you covered. On SiriusXM College Sports Radio, there's complete coverage of every major conference, including live games, plus 24/7 talk and analysis. So cheer along on the SiriusXM app and listen to your favorite team anywhere. And now you can get 3 months of SiriusXM free. Subscribe now. See offer details at SiriusXM.com/collegesportsradio24.
Power Station Events is the official production partner of the UConn Huskies, the ultimate one-stop source featuring audio, video, lighting, staging, talented DJs and musicians, photography and videography, stunning decor and florals, and much more. As we celebrate our 40th anniversary, we want to thank UConn Nation as we look forward to the next 40 years. Visit us at powerstationevents.com and let us help you plan your next awesome event.
UConn fans, when it comes to sports injuries, do you know where the Huskies go?
UConn Health, Connecticut's public academic medical center. Our doctors advance research and train future generations of healthcare experts.
All while offering the latest in injury prevention, treatment, and performance improvement for athletes, for everyone.
When it comes to UConn athletics, our physicians are their physicians and should be your physicians too.
Make their doctors your doctors.
UConn Health. Learn more at health.uconn.edu.
This is UConn men's basketball, presented by Key Bank. Now back to our broadcast location.
Stay with us after the game. The Hart Auto Group post-game show. We got game highlights, interviews, final stats, and scores all coming your way courtesy of the Hart Auto Group. Shop Hart Auto Group. We treat you like family, are only a heartbeat away. HartCars.com.
9-1 UConn run. 7 minutes to go. They were down 57-48. Solo Ball scored the last 2 field goals for the Huskies, both in the lane, cutting it down to a 1-point game. We've got 3 minutes and 27 seconds left. Ball and Hassan Diarra lead the Huskies in scoring, 15 points apiece. They've combined to go 13 of 21 from the floor, so the guards are making the difference. That last foul was on Ryan Kalkbrenner, just his second foul of the game. Creighton is the #1 team in the nation in fewest fouls committed. They average 10 fouls per game. They've only got 6 in this game, 3 in each half. So Huskies have not had much of a chance to go to the free throw line. They have in the second half gone 3 for 3. They did not go to the line at all in the first half.
Well, UConn has played in a bunch of close games this year, unlike last year when they rolled 37-3 to a national championship. They've been in 8 games that were decided by 1 or 2 possessions late. They won 5 of them after losing 2 in a row in Maui. They won in overtime to Memphis and 1 late to Colorado. So they've had a lot of experience in these kind of circumstances this year with this team. Samson Johnson on the line.
Johnson hit a free throw earlier in the game. He's now 13 of 19 on the year.
Makes that one. And we're all tied.
Sampson's equaled a career high with 4 assists. He got an assist on one of those solo ball hoops a moment ago.
Sampson's second one is up, and that one is good. UConn leads 59-58. Now it's about stops. Can they get any? Can they get one? You got to start with one. Here's Ashworth across the timeline to the right on the right sideline, up front to Kalkbrenner. Guarded by Samson Johnson. Johnson all over him. And he handed off to Ashworth, almost stolen by Diarra. Ashworth starts to his right, trying to go down low to Kalkbrenner, and he got it down there. Kalkbrenner made the catch. Sampson works him over. Kalkbrenner puts it up and made it. Tough shot by Ryan Kalkbrenner. And Creighton leads 60-59. He was in the lane quite a while.
Good defense by Johnson without fouling despite the layup.
All right, here's Ball. Front court left, out front to Caravan. He hands it over in the high post left to Samson Johnson. A scoop handle to Ball. Ball starts back to his right and gives to Diarra. Diarra out front. Guarded by Ashworth. Up a high screen by Samson Johnson. He attacks Kalkbrenner. Put a shot up, no good. Kalkbrenner might have got a piece. That's big. 2.5 to go. You can't challenge him every time. And now Ashworth, with Creighton leading 60-59, has it on the left sideline, front court right. Gives it up to Jemiah Neal. He attacks Stewart. Nowhere to go. Back out front to Kalkbrenner. Kalkbrenner now to Ashworth. Ashworth starts left. They want to pick and roll. He launches a three. Whoa, air ball out of bounds. And Craig McDermott says, what was that? What shot was that? He is not happy with that one.
He's the one who went off against UConn and Creighton's win in Omaha last year. He's only got 8 points today, 2 of 6 from 3.
Here's Diarra across the timeline. Timeout called by Dan Hurley. 2:05 left in a 1-point game. UConn's got 2 timeouts remaining. Creighton's got 2. And he'll talk it over. Let's see if it's a 30. I think it's going to be a 30. In a 1-point ball game, UConn, who led early 12-4. That was their biggest lead. And Creighton, not too long ago, about 5 minutes ago, had a 9-point lead at 57-48.
And then UConn answered that with an 11-1 run, took the lead on those 2 Johnson free throws, and then Kalkbrenner got the layup a moment ago to give Creighton back the lead. It's been back and forth. Creighton has not run at all today. They've got no fast break points. Huskies have 11. The guards have really gotten the ball down the court well.
The game's been tied for 3.5 minutes. There have been 9 lead changes. Creighton led most of the way, almost 27 minutes. UConn's had the lead for about 7.5 minutes.
Everybody knows that Liam McNeely is out for a little while longer for UConn. Great shooter, great rebounder for the Huskies. And again, they had Pop Isaacs, who got hurt and had hip surgery December the 11th. He's averaging 16 points a game. He's done for the year. The transfer from Texas Tech. They had 2 other players who are not with the program anymore, Sterling Knox and also Larry Johnson. They left for different reasons, including playing time.
All right, here's Johnson out front. Sampson, front court to our left. Here's Diarra off the high screen. Top of the key, gives to Caravan. Caravan at the high post right, puts it on the floor, and he puts it up, and an offensive foul called on Alex. And so it'll give the ball back to Creighton with 1:50 left. And just the Caravan, that is his third.
Just the 8th turnover by the Huskies.
All right, Ashworth walks it across the timeline. 1:45 to go. Kalkbrenner on a handoff to Ashworth. He drives to his right along the baseline. Guarded by Diarra. He backs away from the defense. He's outside the arc on the right. They want to go to Kalkbrenner down low. They got a mismatch. They get it to him. Samson Johnson blocks him, but a foul is called. As Kalkbrenner got the right angle, and they got on the wall just in time. Sampson had to foul him from behind. He did block the shot. Got him with the body. Kalkbrenner did a good job. He kind of leaned back into the paint to draw the contact, and he'll go to the line now to shoot 2.
He's 2 for 2 in the game today. Not a great free throw shooter, just 54% in Big East games coming in.
And he makes the first off the front rim. He was 48 for 69 prior to the game, and today's 3 for 3. So it's a 2-point lead for Creighton. The second one is good. 1.5 minutes to go. UConn trailing 62-59. Diarra, right to left, top of the arc. Picked up by Ashworth at the right hash. Switches to the left hand. They double him for the moment. He gives it on the bounce to Ball. Ball guard by Neal. Back to Hassan, high post to Sampson. Sampson with a handoff to Jalen. Jalen starts into the paint. Floater by Stewart. Good! Tough shot by Jalen. About a 12-footer, and UConn within 1, 62-61. 1:05 to go. Here's Ashworth. Front court left. On the left sideline guarded by Diarra. Right-hand dribble starts to his right. Keeps his dribble, backs away on the right hash. Starts towards the basket, and Diarra fouled him. And so that is the 7th team foul for UConn. It'll be 1-1. Only 3 fouls by Creighton, so Huskies a ways away from a bonus situation.
I think that was the first foul in the game. The player that committed the foul did not complain about the call. Haas knew right away, raised his hands. Yep, I got him.
1-1 for Ashworth with 50 seconds left. This thing going right down to the wire.
He's the number 1 free throw shooter in the nation.
Yep, and he makes it.
90, make that 61 of 63 overall, 18 of 19 before this one in Big East games.
Ashworth plays 35 minutes of ball game, gets the second opportunity. He's just 6 foot, 175, and that one is up and good. He's got 2 for 2. 64-61, 50 seconds left. UConn trails by 3. Here's Hassan of the front court. He gives it up to Ball. Ball out front, guarded by Neal. Back to Diarra. He hands to Johnson at the high post. Sampson attacks in the paint. Looks to hand it off. He's having some trouble. Gets it a ball for 3, and Solo in and out. And the ball knocked out of bounds by Trout. And they're going to get it right. The under-the-basket official, Tim Clockerty, said Creighton ball, but James Breeding stepped in. He had the right call.
You could hear the crowd reaction. Everybody in the building saw that, but one.
So it'll be Solo ball to inbound the ball to our left. Are they going to review this? I don't think so. And again, that's Greg McDermott. No, he's not going to get a review. He wants a review so he can talk it over with his team. And James Breeding said, no, I had the call. And now Dan Hurley's talking it over with his team. The gamesmanship is top of the scale here this afternoon.
That was clearly off Trout.
That's when you want an extra timeout. You go for a review. All right, so Ball will inbound the ball. UConn trailing by 3, 64-61. And they get it into Stewart, who slips. He gives it back to Ball on the right sideline. Solo off the high screen of Sampson. Gives back to Sampson. UConn looking for a 3. They get it to Karaban for the floater, and Karaban hits. 23 seconds left. And the Huskies are down 1, 64-63. You got to figure they might foul here because it's still 1-1. Bonus situation. As Karaban has come alive here in the second half after going scoreless in the first half. UConn couldn't get a good three-point attempt off, and so they went with the 2, but now they trail by 1, 64-63.
Give a little non-statistical assist to Jalen Stewart on that. As he lost his footing, was able to corral the ball while laying on his back, and while horizontally passed it off to the right side. UConn kept possession, and eventually Karaban got the layup. He's 3 for 11 from the floor, 0 for 2 from three-point range. Didn't score in the first half. All 8 of his points have come in the second half, including right after he sprained his right ankle.
And that's a play by Karaban that had to be made because UConn was searching for a 3 to try to tie it. At some point, you got to take an opening, get a bucket, and now try to make Creighton run another possession, maybe make a 1-and-1 front end. There's a lot of things that have to happen there, and Karaban was able to make a decision and score and get UConn within 1.
We've seen a couple of possessions in the last few minutes where Johnson gets the ball about 15 feet out. Kalkbrenner plays off him. He knows Johnson's not going to take that shot, even though he does have 9 three-point attempts in his career, none this season. So that forces Johnson to pass the ball up because he's not going to shoot it from out there, especially when he's got Kalkbrenner in the lane protecting the rim.
The more I think about it, the more I say UConn's got to foul if they can't steal here. They've got to foul and force Creighton to shoot 1-and-1.
Well, the shot clock is off. That's pretty much the mindset.
The one opportunity that Creighton would have is to try to go long, and they're kind of talking about it as they come out of their huddle. You can see them. They're going to set up Ashworth at the foul line, at the midcourt line, and along with Trout.
And that's the coaching chess game here. Ashworth, the best free throw shooter in the nation. Creighton wants the ball in his hands in this possession. UConn doesn't want him to touch it.
All right, so to be Jason Green to inbound on the baseline to our left. Jaden Ross will defend the inbounds. And Green will take the ball from Tim Clockerty. He runs the baseline. UConn just scored. They get it to Ashworth. They try to foul him, and they don't. He runs into the front court, and finally Ross fouls him with 17.3 left. And Dan Hurley's got his head in his hands. I'm not sure if he wanted it there or earlier. But anyway.
Well, if you're not going to foul him initially, because
don't foul him, maybe.
I think what they've tried to do is they tried to trap it mid-court to get the ball out of his hands.
Right.
Didn't work. They didn't foul him early. I think that was a design not to foul him, but then they knew they had to a few seconds later.
All right, Ashworth 1-and-1. He's almost an automatic. Well, what do we have here? And UConn calls a timeout. And before Ashworth, and maybe they try to ice him a little bit, but I mean, the guy is almost perfect on the line all year long.
Fifth-year player transferred from Utah State. I'm guessing it's pretty hard to ice him.
I would think.
He had a game in the opener when he was 17 for 17 from the line. His one miss this year came against number 20 Texas A&M back in December.
A lot of close ones in the top 25 today. Houston, number 10 at UCF, 65 apiece with a minute and a half to go. Alabama by 3, number 4 versus number 8 at Kentucky. 3-point game, 6 minutes to go. And this one here, Creighton, 17 seconds left, going to the line to shoot 1-1.
And I had talked about how UConn has done a decent job containing Ashworth and Kalkbrenner, but they couldn't contain Jemiah Neal. Well, Neal has one field goal in the last 10 minutes of the game, and now at crunch time in the last 3 minutes, all the points by Creighton have been scored by Kalkbrenner and Ashworth, mostly from the line.
Neal with 7 points in the second half, and he is 2 for 8 in the second half after going 7 for 8 in the first. This place is loud. Ashworth faces that, and the student section. Been a while since UConn has fallen here at home. So a long while.
So if he makes 2 free throws here, UConn will try a 3, but Creighton will foul before they get a 3-point shot off.
Well, they'll try to as Ashworth makes the first. Of course you're going to try. Creighton leads 65-63. Ashworth, another opportunity. And that one's good as well. So Ashworth, almost automatic, now has 11. Caravan looking inbound, gets it to Diarra. Hassan's got to rush it up court. Cross the timeline. Diarra guarded by Ashworth, and he is fouled. Well, they got a bunch to give up. That's only the 4th. Now, if you foul, you got to be real careful, because if you're shooting a 3 and you foul a man and the ball goes in, you could lose a game. Let's see how UConn handles this. Diarra has it, and he starts to his left, and he's fouled. He puts it up. Oh, he missed it, and they say it's not a shot. Dan Hurley, I agree with him. I think that was a shot. Hassan's got a smile on his face. That's the 5th team foul. This could be comical. And the crowd just saw a replay. Uh-oh. Yeah, that's never good. That is never good. Timeout called by Greg McDermott. I think you want to invite contact. I really do on these plays, and they did that time. They almost got away with it, too. Let's pause 10 seconds during the timeout for Station ID. You're listening to UConn Men's Basketball in Learfield, presented by Brown Paint, Darris, and Scott.
I just saw the replay, Mike, and he clearly was in the act of shooting from the top of the circle. I don't know why Breeding waved that off.
Well, you can ask him. You can bring him over and ask him, but I don't think he'll answer.
Well, the crowd saw it also on the big screen, and they all reacted. They saw the same thing I did. So the clock shows 7.8 seconds left. It will be UConn ball after another foul on Ashworth. He's got 3, but they've got 8 team fouls in the game. And again, they're the number 1 team in the nation in fewest fouls committed. But now they've had to foul a couple of times to prevent UConn from getting a 3-point shot off.
UConn currently on a 28-game home winning streak. Second longest streak in program history. The record is 31, 2004 to 2007. The Huskies at 50-6 at Gamble, 36-9 at the XL Center.
First time UConn and Creighton played was in their first year back, UConn's first year back in the Big East. They went double overtime before Creighton was able to win, despite 40 points. 40 points by James Bouknight.
Connecticut, a perfect 16-0 at home last year. They're 8-0 to start this year. Last year, 8-0 at Gamble, 8-0 at the XL. So let's see. I mean, to me, you got to be careful if you are Creighton. You do not want to foul anybody outside that arc on the chance that the ball goes in, especially after the call that was not made a moment ago. Officials will be looking very closely at this. 4 men along the baseline for UConn. Diarra on the right sideline near the UConn bench looking to inbound the ball. And he's trying to get it in. He's trying to get it. Gets it into Caravan. Caravan starts to his left. Puts it up. And almost banked it in. It's loose. Kalkbrenner got the rebound with 1.4 left. And that should do it.
Coach Hurley was applauding on the sideline because they ran the play he wanted. Caravan was a little off balance as he went toward his left near the top of the circle, but he liked the way UConn got at least a clean look at a chance for a tying 3.
So all good things sometimes must come to an end, and Kalkbrenner can put it out of reach with 1.4 left on the line, and he does. So Creighton comes in here against number 14 UConn, and with Greg McDermott on the sideline, they win for the 40th time against the top 25 opponent. He makes them both with 1.4 left. Diarra will fire it up at the buzzer and hits the right side of the rim, and that does it. As the Blue Jays end up winning here today at Storrs and sending a sold-out crowd home unhappy. 68-63 was the final.
And the difference maker was Jemiah Neal, had that great 17-point half on the way to a career-high 24 points. UConn's last loss at Gamble was on January 25th, 2023, when they were beaten by Xavier 82-79.
That was a year that Xavier swept all three for the Huskies. They had a great team that year. Dan Hurley at home now drops to 86-16 as the head man at UConn. Now 36-10, 36-9, pardon me, at the XL Center. 50-7 here at Gamble Pavilion. So great crowd, great game.